Here for one night and we just wanna party. In a fast car, a Ferrari. It's a push start, I don't need a car key. Slide on Broadway, and it's gnarly. On a late night, but I'm not tardy. Right on time for the parties and Barbies. Strolling with a truck of green like a golf swing. Hey, 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 hey. Bottles on ice, mess around these skates. Hey, hey, hey. If I gotta say it twice, then I got nothing to say. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. I hope you're all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. Only here for one night, no lies. Come and saddle up a ride. Come and kiss me up, it's going down. Like a train with no brakes, I'm not slowing down. See us showing up, we're showing out. Better pack it in till they kick us out. I'm no nailing them, I'm a lunatic. It's no telling when I get loose a bit. Got my babe, my boo, she cute and shh. And they serve me straight, need no juice and shh. Hey, 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 hey. Bottles on ice, mess around these skates. Hey, hey, hey. If I gotta say it twice, then I got nothing to say. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. I hope you're all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. Only here for one night, no lies. Come and saddle up a ride. Cause it's going down tonight. Only here for one night, no lies. Come and saddle up a ride. Need a yeehaw, you know how ye. Here for one night and we just wanna party. In a fast car, a Ferrari. It's a push start, I don't need a car key. Slide on Broadway, and it's gnarly. On a late night, but I'm not tardy. Right on time for the parties and Barbies. Strolling with a truck of green like a golf swing. Hey, 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 hey. Bottles on ice, mess around these skates. Hey, hey, hey. If I gotta say it twice, then I got nothing to say. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. I hope you're all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. Only here for one night, no lies. Come and saddle up a ride. Come and kiss me up, it's going down. Like a train with no brakes, I'm not slowing down. See us showing up, we're showing out. Better pack it in till they kick us out. I'm no nailing them, I'm a lunatic. It's no telling when I get loose a bit. Got my babe, my boo, she cute and shh. And they serve me straight, need no juice and shh. Hey, 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 hey. Bottles on ice, mess around these skates. Hey, hey, hey. If I gotta say it twice, then I got nothing to say. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. I hope you're all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. Only here for one night, no lies. Come and saddle up a ride. yeehaw. You know how ye here for one night and we just wanna party in a fast car, a Ferrari.
Hello, hello, happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome back. Saturday chore day, Jay Baloo. I was doing my chores this morning. See, this is what happens. Y'all let me sleep and shit and get some rest, and here I am, early. Jays for Justice has never been early, but we are now. That's what happens when I take a little break. I was going to go live last night after Coburger. I was like, I'm so tired. Jaybird's in the house. Cooter's in the house. What's up, Kels? Kels, I loved your photos from iFly. That looks really cool. Like, I want to do that. I want to freaking do that. Like, I want to feel what it feels like to fly without having to skydive. Hey, Mr. Potato Head. Hey, Amy C. Good to see you this morning. Good to see you, Miss Sin. I always feel like I'm calling you a sinner when I say sin. I feel like you're a sinner. But you're not. You're a sweet sin. Cotton Candy got a new membership. Welcome to Cooterville, Cotton Candy. Come on in and close your legs. Sherry is sending love during the intro. Thank you so much for your super chat, Sherry. That's so generous of you. And Sophia, our Sophia Petrillo, gifted a cootership to Cotton Candy. Thank you so much. You closed your eyes the entire skydive. See, I've always wanted to do that, but I'm too chicken. Flying in your dreams is scary. Hey, Irish. I know. I would do it with you, Amy. Like, I would do it just to say I did it. It's so beautiful, pizza. One more cup of coffee and you're going to dive into cleaning. I had 3 this morning. I don't like falling in my dreams. Hey, Ramblin'. Your cousin's a skydive instructor in Wisconsin. Let's do it. Amy, let's go to Wisconsin and jump from a plane. Would y'all do it? Put a 1 in chat if you'd skydive. I think I would do it just to say I did it. Flying without pants on in your dreams? Kels. Right by Maligator. We could throw her in the plane too. I'm not into roller coaster. I don't like roller coasters either. Okay. I don't like that at all. But I think I would do it just because, you know, it's kind of like my dreads, right? I always wanted dreads and then I finally did it. I feel like I'd want to do it. I get motion sickness easy too. But the first time you do it, hey Megan, you're attached. Hey Gray Pearl, you're attached to somebody. But we could put a incontinence thing on you. Ultralight flying, it's terrific. You know, I've always kind of wanted to do that thing over the ocean too. You've parasailed. That's it. Parasailing. I see them on the beach all the time, right? It was horrendous. Yeah, the fuck it list. Like, fuck it. What do I got to lose? So my brother and my sister's boyfriend back in the day went skydiving. And my sister's boyfriend, Rick, landed wrong and broke his leg. That's probably why I didn't do it when I was younger. Because when I was younger, I was fearless, you know. I want to do the parasailing thing. Would that be a place to start? Start out with parasailing and then kind of move up? Right, little Daisy. That's what I'm thinking. It's like a stepping stone. Your ex did it, and the idiot went, of course, and landed inside Portage Prison in the yard. Of course he did. Only Steve. Only Steve. Trust me, I haven't forgotten the Steve stories. We love Steve. I have a couple of ultralights, fun flying over the Florida Keys. Oh, I bet. All right. Now I'm going to have to do it. I'll go parasailing with you. I've always wanted to do that. Come on. Clue and Cletus come to Florida and we'll go parasailing. And we'll have the guy that's like pulling us video it. Would that be fucking awesome? Let's do it. Oh, if you don't mind seeing the sharks below. Oh, your ex. Oh, I thought it was your. I didn't even read that right. I X went out the window. I'm sorry, Maligator. I didn't even process the X part of it. I guess you wouldn't call your husband an idiot. I'm still waking up even after 3 cups of coffee. I heard parasailing was boring. No way. How could that ever be boring? Hey, Lollipop. That would be amazing. I love Florida, but fiance won't move there, and y'all do have a lot of sinkholes. You and them fucking sinkholes. Well, there ain't no sinkhole parasailing, and there ain't no sinkhole when you come to visit. So you guys come down here, let's parasail. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to do something, like get up in the air. I'd jump out of a plane. Clue, would you jump out of a plane? You have sinkholes in PA from the coal mines. Yeah, that grandmother just got sucked into one, man. That was awful. Oh, yeah, now it's the Gulf of America? Yes, that's right. Ever been on Soarin' at Disney? No, I'm a chicken shit when it comes to rides. While it's on the ground. Man, I wish I could get my husband to jump out of a plane with me. Like, would that be awesome? Like hand in hand. And you're like, free falling. And I would have like headphones playing. Free falling. Like that's what I've always wanted to do. Now I'm free. Because I don't think there's a more fitting song when you're skydiving, right? I hate rides, Hensley. Hate them. The bungee slingshot, hell to the no. True love has 4 paws. You mean that one in Orlando or in Kissimmee? The one you can see from afar? That slingshot? Dude, someone died on that slingshot. Kenny, there's a place in Dunlap, Tennessee. You can do it tandem. Go do that, Clue, when it gets nice out. Go to Dunlap, Tennessee. I can't skydive because the rod's in my back. I'm technically not supposed to parasail, but I do. Look, I ain't going to be responsible for your ass fucking becoming paralyzed and shit. Yeah, the one in Old Town. That's what it's called. That damn slingshot? Hell no. Ange Carter says, definitely don't play Dust in the Wind. Couple of stiff drinks and I'll have you on a roller coaster before you know it. Dude, I've done them. I don't like them. Girl, if you can't do roller coaster rides, you think you're going to jump out of an airplane? You're out of your mind. I'm terrified to jump out of a plane, and it's not open. That would be my effing luck. Oh, and the parachute not open. I don't do human slingshots. Fuck that. I just don't trust those things put up by carnies. I don't. Mm-mm. Not anymore. You can't get these huge plastic candlesticks full of beer there. You can get these huge plastic candlesticks full of beer. Really? That's pretty cool. Let's get Clue on the human slingshot. Clue and Cletus on the human slingshot. I'll keep my feet on the ground, says Angela. Well, let's keep our feet on the ground today. We have part 2 of EquiSearch's search, if you will. This one is from May. Let's see, what's the date on this one again? May 20th. It says Sebastian Rogers search with EquiSearch Midwest, Dave Rader and team. Dave Rader. Rader. Dennis Rader? Dude, are their last names spelled the same as Dennis Rader, the BTK? Oh, before we get into today's stream, I want to introduce you to what I'm going to be going over Monday on Jay is for Justice. There must be something in this room that's stuffing me up because I am fine until I sit in this chair. And listen, I'm instantly stuffed. Do you guys remember?
To go into a store. What store did you go into?
I wasn't getting any specifics.
The day after this Nancy Grace interview was taped, but before it actually aired on TV, authorities were called to the home of Melinda's grandparents in the Villages. That's where they found Melinda Duckett dead.
It is still very early in the death investigation, but initial observations indicate the death was from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
At the time, Josh was at the police station.
And they said, we have to tell you something. And I remember looking dead at him and saying, she killed herself, didn't she? And they said, yes.
Josh remains frustrated that law enforcement did not arrest Melinda when they had the chance.
Do you guys remember this case? We're going to be going over it Monday because there is a new interview with Trenton's dad, Josh. This happened in Florida. I believe it was like 2006. They have never found little Trenton Duckett, but his mother unalived herself at her grandmother's home. And Josh just did some interviews with the local news here. So I want to go over those. Josh Duckett was like, it's just so interesting to watch. And we're going to learn a lot because they kind of show you how they went through the investigation, because Josh Duckett wasn't a suspect in this case, but the mother was. And it's wild to hear about how they kind of played the cards, law enforcement, by not saying she was a suspect. You know what I'm saying? And how they were able to clear Josh, but then they didn't say it. It's wild. It's in the search and everything else. I think it's really interesting to go over. Yeah, the Pineapple Villages. I think that in his mother's apartment, there were things discarded, like Mother's Day card, a Beanie Baby that was given to her from Trenton. It said like, "I love you, Mom," and then his baby pictures. I'm trying to think what else. I think his toys were in a dumpster at her apartment building. The grandmother of the deceased mom. So the mother of Trenton went to her grandmother's house in the Villages, and when they went looking for her, because see, she was a suspect, but they let her stay loose so that they could get more evidence. And while she was loose, she killed herself. So that's why Josh says he was frustrated that they didn't arrest her for like the child endangerment. And there was one other charge they were going to get her for. And they decided to wait to get, bigger charges. And while they were waiting and investigating, she killed herself. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy story, but we're going to go over it in depth on Monday at 3 p.m. when we go live on Monday. But I think it'll be, something for us to learn about. It's just interesting to see how the investigation rolled out and all of that. But more importantly, let's get Trenton's face out there because his mom did some sus things, right? She was driving all around. She had like an ATM withdrawal. Like, I don't know. It's really sad. No, he's never been found, and they don't know what happened to him. There was no sign of foul play in her house except for a torn screen. A cut screen, I should say. So like in the boys' room, the blinds were like up like this much. And that's how long the cut was. But get this, authorities couldn't determine if it was cut from the inside or the outside. Now, my question would be, if I was Josh, I would be like, I want you to retest that screen, because now they've got to be able to tell if it was cut from the inside or outside. I mean, just the way that the little wires would bend when you cut through them from the inside or outside. You live in the Villages. Yeah. Yeah, that's where she was found. The Sunshine Law makes Florida cases more interesting. Yeah, because we get a lot more information. Rabbit Hole Survivor, hello. Yeah, so the mom was on Nancy Grace. And it was the day after she was on Nancy Grace, she killed herself. So Nancy Grace was sued. It's a whole deal, dude. It's not just the case. Nancy Grace was sued. There was this big lawsuit. They ended up settling. Nancy Grace made a comment like, our show was not liable, was not responsible. Hey, Ludwig. Hey, Alabama. Hey, Bayou, babe. Yeah, there's a whole lot of facets to this case. But right now, we are talking about Sebastian Rogers, who's been missing since February 26, 2024. We're just about a month away from a year that Sebastian has been missing. And I'm sure you all will be shocked to hear this one. But I watched the beginning of the Mob Crew last night, and he did a really good job explaining the CCTV. Like the controls. I don't know if Potato's here, but Potato and I were looking at that right column where the calendar is and stuff like that. I suggest you watch that so you understand when I showed you the videos what that whole screen looks like when it's cut off. I thought that was interesting. The other stuff he said, I don't necessarily agree with, but that I was interested in that CCTV and like how that whole server thing worked. Hey, Music City. Hey, Mississippi Missy. Hey, UA. Hey, Ministry. So we'll cover that on Monday Live at 3 p.m. Now let's go to... Oh, I didn't watch the whole thing, Kels. I just watched that part about the CCTV. I thought it was interesting. But that's the only part that I thought was interesting, to be honest. The other parts loses me. This coming Monday will be 11 months since Sebastian went missing. Yeah, the CCTV, like that one neighbor that we've been seeing the footage from, Bon, it's not like a Ring doorbell or anything. It's actually like the hardwired CCTV. That's why SF said they took the whole server, meaning like the whole box, because the homeowner didn't know how to pull that footage. So it's a different type of camera than, the Wi-Fi connected ones. So I always kind of wondered about those controls on the side where we could see the date. Hey, Sue. No, we haven't started yet. I'm yapping this morning. I've been yapping for a while. We'll get into it now. He talks bad about SF but wants the videos. Yeah, I just can't get down with this back and forth bullshit. We all want Sebastian found. I'm done with the back and forth stuff. If I can pick something from his video that I found that was, I learned something from, that's fine. But just because I watch his video doesn't mean I agree with everything he says. Mob Crew was not like this 2 years ago. He has changed. Everybody changes, Sienna. I mean, people change. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Deb K. Carl Ferguson. Tomorrow will be 11 months. Tomorrow's the 26th. Seth got PIs of his own. Sorry, a little behind. Nancy Grace is like the Jeremy Kyle in the UK. Oh, really? You have your own Nancy Grace? Yeah, you can like whoever you want, Michelle. I'm not here to down him. I'm not a fan, but I'm not going to down him. Holy shit. What just happened. I've never seen 20 gifted memberships in one of my chats. Holy shit.
Coming in hot, just like the fajita.
Thank you so damn much, Flo. Wow. A lot of new cooters is right. Welcome to Cooterville. Line up. Come on in and close your legs. Wow. That was awesome. Welcome, you guys. Make sure you close them legs. Hey, Life's a Beach. Hello, Shell. You know, you can have your own opinions, y'all. It's not end all be all. Like, I'm sick of sides. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I really, really am. And that's my thoughts this week. It may change. But right now, I just want this boy found, dude. That's it. Thanks again, Flo. Wow. Wow, wow. Yeah, I'm just tired of the fighting and the back and forth and the, like it's to the point where, oh, you listen to him or you listen to him. Like, I don't look at Mob Crew like I do Pearls. You know what I mean? Like, I look at everybody and judge them accordingly. I'm sick of the lies. I'm sick of the packets. I'm sick of Granny's lawsuit. Not saying I'm sick of hearing about it, but I'm sick of the bullshit. Granny doesn't deserve this fucking lawsuit, you guys. And I just want to say, like, I think because of who's listed as a plaintiff on her lawsuit, people think that it's like a joke or something, like downplaying it. Not a joke, not that they're laughing about it, but kind of downplaying it, like, oh, it's not going to amount to anything. Nothing's going to happen. And I think that that's a dangerous message to send if you support Granny. You know what I'm saying? It's a dangerous message to send if you support her, because we don't know that it's going to get thrown out. We all think it's a joke. Hi, Mrs. Clem from Hendersonville. Good to see you. Those memberships are still coming in. Cooters. Because we don't know what this is going to do. I mean, we have some pretty up there people, if you will. Hey, Slim Shady. I mean, we got Dog the Bounty Hunter looking like he's suing Granny. Someone came to me about being doxxed out because they were a sub of who? Damn, Sophia. Thank you. He may be a joke to you, Sienna, but if you're a single mom, just trying to live your life and you got Dog the Bounty Hunter on a lawsuit against you, I don't know how funny it would be. That's what I mean. Like, oh, Dog's a joke. It's not going to go anywhere. Like, you don't know that. Like, we don't know what will happen with it. We don't know how long they're going to drag this out. I mean, we got Trump's damn ex-lawyer who was shit-canned backing this shit up. It's scary, I'm sure. And I just wanted to reiterate that, because I just feel like we lose sight of the reality of it. And to us, it's hearing about it on YouTube, and it's not entertainment, man. This is her real life. And Granny's struggling, dude. Like, she's upset. She's trying to keep her shine. You know what I mean? Like, there she is. She's doing her best, but I just don't think that it's looked at sometimes in the right way. Granny, amen, Jay. We hope it won't go anywhere, but clearly it's gone further than any of us thought. Right. Angie B, thank you for your super chat. Hi, Angie B. It's good to see you. And I think I missed. Thank you, Sophia, for the cootership. I miss Shell. Hello, Miss Shell. Hello. Lesniak is in a bad position, cornered, if you will. So what will you do? I can see why Granny is upset. I firmly stand with Granny. Thank you, baby Firefly. That's nice of you to say. I just wanted to kind of reiterate that. Just as a little reminder. We love you, Grands. All right, let's get into Dave Rader and Duty Ron. Without further ado, let's see what they did.
Always
with
a pleasure.
Sebastian's case.
Yeah, Dave, this case is so frustrating, and I know how frustrated you get because I look at like cases like Summer Wells and how dedicated your heart and your soul was into that case, and how much it bothered you that you guys left there empty-handed. And here we are, and as we talk about Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells is still nothing. There's no new movement, and we're talking about years later, Dave. And I remember that case like it was just yesterday. It's just such a sad situation when we have our young going missing out of their own homes when they're supposed to be protected by their parents, and they vanish into thin air without a trace. I wanted to get your thoughts, Dave, quickly as it pertains to not just this case. I mean, I wrote down some notes here.
Hey, pretty.
You were on quite a few missing cases, like the baby Clyde Joe Daniels, right? Joe. I mean, I know that one bothered you too, and these are all.
Wow, we have Joe Clyde Daniels being brought up again, you guys. How many times have we heard Joe Clyde Daniels being brought up? Nick Barris brought it up how many times? Hey, Jay Kels. Sweet Jones, are you nuts? Parents got to sleep sometime, and they usually have the doors locked. Right. But how many times have you heard of Joe Clyde Daniels being mentioned? The no-body conviction of the father of little Joe Clyde Daniels. Interesting. We've heard it a lot.
All in that Tennessee area. Is there any particular reason why we're getting so many of these vanished into thin air in Tennessee?
I wish we could, answer that question, Ron. It's very frustrating. And if you look at Joe Clyde Daniels, if you look at Sebastian Rogers, if you look at Summer Wells, they all are just, it's almost like they're mirroring themselves. You have the parents that were the last ones to see them. And here we are, not only months later, but years later on Joe Clyde's and also on Summers. And we don't have any, we just don't have any answers, and it doesn't make sense. I've always said this, and I had a reporter ask me, what's the worst part of what I do? And I thought about it for a second. And the answer that came back is it's the worst case of hide and seek that you can ever play. How can one or two know what 1,000 can't find? And that's my question is how is this happening in the state of Tennessee? And they're all except Summer. I mean, we have it's the worst case of hide and seek that you can ever play.
Did you guys catch that? It's the worst game of it's the worst case of hide and seek that you can ever play.
The answer that came back is it's the worst case of hide and seek that you can ever play. How can one or two know what 1,000 can't find? And that's my question is
oh my God. How can one or two know that 1,000 can't find?
The answer that came back is it's the worst case of hide and seek that you can ever play. How can one or two know what 1,000 can't find? And that's my question is how is this happening in the state of Tennessee? And they're all except Summer. I mean, we have the autism with Joe Clyde, and then we also have the autistic on the spectrum with Sebastian Roberts. So Rogers. It's sad that what are happening to these kids. It doesn't make any sense, and it gets more frustrating as time goes by. I have my own personal thoughts, but I'm not sure if I want to go down that rabbit hole or not. But it's just there's just too many similarities of the last person's seat.
This is Dave Rader. I'm sorry, I didn't give his title. I thought everybody knew who he was. Dave Rader is the head of Texas EquiSearch, the Midwest chapter. Okay. Texas EquiSearch, the Midwest chapter.
He sees them as the parents. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Dave, my thought process is similar to yours, but why I think it's so important that we continue to talk about Sebastian Rogers and some of these cases, and I always circle back to Summer Wells because it's near and dear to my heart. I covered that case so extensively, and with no new updates, it's really hard to just come online and start talking about it. But you want to keep the names and their cases alive and out there. I see the problem with some of these cases is that there's so many people that want to help, but some that don't have the right intentions. I'm trying to be nice with my words here, and the unfortunate part is when people start causing drama and infighting between the actual parents or people who are actually trying to look for these missing young children, it takes a bite from the capacity of a search group, a volunteer search group like yourself, who is very respected across the law enforcement board. Throughout the United States, you can throw out the name EquiSearch, Midwest EquiSearch, Texas EquiSearch, and law enforcement and the partners, TBI, FBI, state, local, and federal authorities will say, yeah, we've had nothing but good experiences with those guys. But look.
So in the previous live we did, was it 2 days ago? We heard from them in April, and Twyla, who is also with Midwest EquiSearch, stated that, they were actually using the law enforcement radios when they were out there searching. They had drones, they had all kinds of stuff. You guys, if you haven't listened to that, listen to that part 1 or go over to Duty Ron and watch it. It's great. It's great. These guys do great stuff. They work, they're actually working with law enforcement, like in real time. So they're very legit.
Look at what happened to us in Summer Wells case. Because of all the drama down there, when I called up Tony Allen, he was like, "No, we don't need your help anymore. We got this." And the last communication I had with him, he didn't even respond to me. So it's like you kind of feel like they're getting pressure because of all that jagaloon behavior, as I refer to it. If they just shut it down and they say, "You know what, we're gonna."
He calls trolls jagaloons, by the way.
Handle this in house, and we're not letting anybody in from the outside, and that's where who suffers? The actual missing and their family. They suffer at the hands of other people's actions. And that's what it just gets my blood boiling, because if you're really in it for the right reason, you wouldn't try to create that type of drama and that type of fighting. I have a really huge problem with it. Hey, listen, we can't leave her waiting, because look, I just looked down at
Twyla's here.
I just looked down in the studio. As soon as I get the thumbs up, Twyla is here with us. It's a pleasure. I love having you on, and I know that our audience adores you. How you doing tonight, Twyla? You're muted.
I'm good. How are y'all?
She was a muted
We're doing
cooter.
good. As you heard, Dave and I are getting into it, talking about some of crazy behavior. And Twyla, I know you were in the thick of it when you went down into the Summer Wells search, and not saying that you were a part of it, but you were well aware of all the things that are going on. And I want to ask you specifically, because a lot of times you deal with the families and you talk to either the parent, mom, dad, or both.
She met Katie and Chris. And actually, Twyla was the one who read a statement from Katie and Chris at I think it was the first outdoor vigil, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you, girl next door. Appreciate you.
Frustrating is this for a search group like yourself, when you have all these rumors and infighting going on and people trying to just get that interview or camera shot of people that are involved in this? How does that affect you as it pertains to law enforcement, Twyla?
It affects us big time, because for one, law enforcement don't want to trust us because of what's been in before us. And then the families, I hold these families really close to my heart and treat them as if they're my family. And it gets to the point to where the family doesn't trust you. Like, they don't want to talk to you on the phone. They don't want to cry to you. Like, I want to be the missing person's family's shoulder to cry on when they need someone. And people that don't, that aren't qualified, that just want to go out here just for clicks, views, and drama and this, that, and the other, they make it very hard for us to be trusted with what we do.
Yeah, and that creates a real big problem, because like just Dave and I, what we were talking about, and I see a lot of people in the chat are understanding what we're saying. It makes it difficult for the real people like you guys right here that want to go and will drop everything and come running. And that's one of my first questions that I want to ask you guys as it pertains to Sebastian Rogers. If TBI or the Sumner County Sheriff's Office calls you guys back there, Dave, I want to go to you. What's the response to TBI or both if they ask you guys to come? Hey, we need your help.
It's instantaneous. We start working on it right away. There's no hesitation as far as going back in when we're asked to. So we'll make every arrangement possible. We'll work some things in. And right now, I mean, we're working on 3 or 4 different cases. But again, when when law enforcement calls, we try to accommodate them in a timely fashion, of course.
Right. Yeah. And I knew that was the answer, but I like the listening audience and all the folks to hear how this goes. And you guys have a set of rules and regulations that you follow from within EquiSearch, from Texas EquiSearch. Tim Miller, the founder. If you are representing that organization, this is a part of how Texas EquiSearch operates. They won't show up and just.
And if you're not familiar with Tim Miller, I highly recommend that you watch The Killing Fields, because Tim Miller, he's getting up there in age now. Bless his heart. His daughter Laura was kidnapped and killed and left in a field. And that was his own cousin, Stryker. I think he's still in court for it now. Yeah, The Killing Fields. It's freaking sad. But that's where Tim Miller got his,
just say, hey,
his drive to do this.
We're here to search.
Yes,
if
the founder.
Law enforcement that's handling the particular cases ask you or Tim Miller to come in, you will come in. But
yes,
you're not just showing up with your crews and like, hey, we're here. Let's saddle up. Let's go. Twyla, I wanted to go to you on your communication with TBI and tell us as much as you can or as little as you can as it pertains to our Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, 15 years young, autistic, missing since February 26th.
It's Laura Miller,
it's coming
is his daughter.
On 3 months. In 6 days, it'll be 3 months. What's the line of communication, if you can talk to us about that with the TBI? Mm-hmm. Are you communicating with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, or is it exclusively through TBI?
It's straight through TBI. As a matter of fact, I just communicated with the TBI agent that we've been working with on Sebastian's case. I think maybe 2 days ago, I touched base with him and told him that we're ready to go back out and search for Sebastian whenever he's ready. And he let me know, we're good to go. He's going to keep me in the loop. As a matter of fact, we worked another case last weekend with the TBI agent that has also assisted on Sebastian's case. So we were out in Tennessee last weekend working with TBI on another case, and those agents that was with us also assist with Sebastian's case. So they have their hands full. They have not given up on Sebastian whatsoever. We could get a phone call any day telling us, hey, we need y'all to come over and assist with another search. That's the only time that we're going to deploy. If they give us permission to go and conduct a search without them, we'll make sure that all of our plan that we plan on doing that day, we make sure that they know every single thing that we're going to be doing. And most of the time I request for an agent to be out there with us. My light keeps going off in here, my bad. But we don't do anything without law enforcement. And I just communicated, like I said, with the agent on Sebastian's case maybe 2 days ago, or it might even been yesterday. They definitely have their hands full with all this craziness going on the internet. Every tip that comes in, they have to check it, whether it's bogus or not. They have to check it out. So that takes time away from the investigation for the real stuff that needs to be checked out.
Hear that? You hear that? No, this is older. No, this is from, let me get the exact date again. I forget. May 20th. May 20th. So they've got their, and like Dave said, so do we. Last week I had like 5 Hell
cases
no,
in
Regina.
my hand, and I think Dave probably has the same amount. So, but you better believe one thing: if they call and say, "Hey, we're ready to do another search. We need y'all to come in," we'd be there in a heartbeat.
Amen to that. And I know this to be true because, again, I'm.
So this coincided. This was about a week after TikTok Tony was publicly on the scene. Exactly. They won't play this, Granny. They won't play this. And they'll use the excuse that Duty Ron will strike them. But this is the truth. You're hearing the truth. And this was a week after TikTok Tony made himself known. The Texas Killing Fields. Thank you, C-Bon.
I've been around you guys for a long enough time. I know that you walk the walk and talk the talk. So if they were to call you guys back, you guys would be guys right out there. Dave would be deploying a team. Twyla would be doing the coordination of what they need asset wise. And that's what makes you guys great, is because you have the equipment, you have the resources. It's just that all you need is a little bit of time to plan. And I've seen Dave juggle, and Twyla, you as well, juggle 3 different searches at once, maybe sometimes 4. Dave has I've talked to Dave because he picks up the phone anytime I call him. I've called Dave Rader, and he's in a trench with a backhoe digging, and it's raining. And I mean, these guys are laughing, but this is no bullshit. These calls have actually happened. I've called Twyla, and she's getting bit by mosquitoes, and she's like, "Duty Ron, I got to call you back. I'm in the middle of something." But these guys answered my call when I called them, and I don't call them that often, but whenever I do, or if they call me, I answer the phone as well. Look, we're up in assisting, not currently, but assisted in the search for Harmony Montgomery. The detectives from that location, through one of our valued viewers, one of our listeners, went in and tried to do an interview with the police chief. He wasn't available, but they gave her the lead detective, Jack Dunleavy, John Jack. He calls himself Jack to me, so that's how I know him. Jack Dunleavy, and she went in there, gave him my business card, and he called me. What the heck did I do? I called Dave, and then Dave called Twyla, and it was just like the wheels started going. So you guys helped, with some of the drone stuff and looking at the images with locate. I want to play a little piece because Sebastian is what this is about. We want to keep his face out there. We want to keep his name out there, and we want to do it respectfully. There's no room for disrespect or trying to be the big guy on the block is not what we're about. I just want to be able to continue to talk about the case,
like the ones who say, "Oh, I'll get in touch with Brazen Cyrus. I'll get in touch with Brazen." Welcome, new cooters. I just gifted 5 new cooter ships for you.
McNo.
Bring his name to light. So let's put this on while Twyla works out her lighting issue with her car. Maybe she should start it. Dave, we may get some extra gas over there so we can fill her tank up so she can run the car.
He says maybe she should start it.
It was just over.
Lee Hargett. It's been nearly 3 months since a Sumner County teen disappeared from his home. Happening now, Jeeps and bikers are gathering in Hendersonville, riding for hope amid the search for Sebastian.
I always thought it was weird that there was this QR code on the screen for St. Jude's. Don't you guys think that's fucking weird?
Rogers.
I know they do it every year. It's just weird.
News 2's Nikki McGee has more and the message from Sebastian's father.
Well, it's been just a little over 80 days since Sebastian was last seen, and tonight his father holds on.
Okay, so I remember this clip. I was actually going to play this for you guys at some point. I saved it. This is where Pascal was at the thing, and you can ironically see him back there talking to these guys. And I really can't blame him for running. I mean, I'm just saying.
To hope that this won't turn into a cold case. This evening, dozens are gathering to take a ride from here at the Rudder in Hendersonville over to Beach High School, working to keep the name alive. This is one of several events that have taken place along Old Hickory Lake, passing out flyers and encouraging others to stay active in this search. Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, says he's gotten an outpouring of evidence and tips. Recently, he even went to North Carolina after a possible sighting. Tonight, he hopes the community will keep on guard looking for Sebastian. And again, Sebastian is 15 years old, 5'5" and 110 pounds.
It's a never-ending nightmare. I mean, I literally got off of work one day and found out my son's gone, and he's still gone. There is no break in this. If I get sleep, I have dreams of my son. When I wake up, he's not here. There is no ending.
Now, again, this ride is going from here to the Rudder over to Beach High School, where a visual.
I don't know about you guys in the chat, but whether you're a parent or not, that has to tug at your heartstrings to hear Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father.
I don't agree with that, but
others and look at the extended family. Maybe that's less than ideal. You got to look at this man and look at the extended family, people that we don't even know about that love and miss him and that are heartbroken over it. His friends, his schoolmates, things of that nature. It's just heartbreaking.
Welcome in,
everybody. And I'm just going to play it back because this was the most important part of this piece.
I know. Look how Tony's looking at him while he's talking. It's effing weird.
Fucking here in my eyes.
It's a never-ending nightmare. I mean,
look at Tony. I know, like Lurch, hovering over, like go away.
Literally got off of work one day and found out my son's gone, and he's still gone. There is no break in this. If I get sleep, I have dreams of my son.
And who's this dude wandering around in the back? What's he doing?
When I wake up, he's not here. There is no ending.
Some dude with a blanket draped over. What is he doing?
Now, again, this ride is going from here to the Rudder over to Beach High School, where a visual will take place at 6 p.m. and that is open to the public if you would like to join. In the meantime, if you have any signs or sightings of Sebastian, you're asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Reporting in Hendersonville, Nikki McGee, News 2.
Oh my God. Wow. This stream brought to you by One-Eyed Flo.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Thank you so much. 20 more?
Coming in hot, just like the fajita.
Coming in super hot. Oh my God. Welcome, new Cooters. Come on into Cooterville. You have reached the city limits. Come on in and close your legs.
So that's the news reports, and that's what we're looking at, the most current coverage for Sebastian. Nothing about searching and so forth. But I want to say a shout out to the Pascal show. He went and took a drive there. I don't know where he lives, but when I looked at his Twitter profile, it says he lives up in St. Louis, I believe, in Missouri. So if he drove from Missouri down to Tennessee, that's a pretty decent ride. And he actually was there and praying with the families. I saw him locking arms with the motorcycle folks and the people who showed up to pray for Sebastian's safe return or to find Sebastian. So kudos to the Pascal show.
Wow. Oh, he gave kudos to Pascal. Poor Pascal took a run after this. Sherry, thank you so much. You have just entered Cooterville, guys. Come on in. Close your legs. We have 50 memberships given away today. 50 new Cooters and Cooterettes. Damn. The support is amazing. Thank you, UA, for saying that's nice. I did. Italy, I retweeted that shit. It's nice and warm in Cooterville, says Slim Shady. Wow. Thank you so much, guys. Making it rain.
I sent him a nice message before I went live, giving him kudos, because the more people who are respectfully covering this case, the better it is for our victim, for Sebastian. And he is a victim.
He didn't give me kudos. Duty Ron wasn't sending me kudos.
No matter what, alive or if he's not alive. And that's how it goes. But Twyla, I want to go to you because, there's no new information from Chief Eric Craddock. That's the Sumner County chief deputy that gave interviews to several news outlets and said, we don't have a criminal investigation. We don't have any suspects. When you guys were down there searching, and I've got video that I'll play where I mistook Dave for one of the searchers, and I got some shit for that from Dave. But when you guys were down there, was there any communication from TBI or local?
Hold on. So Pascal, he put his running shoes on, and then when he got home, he sent them damn running shoes to Sean, because now Sean is dodging Texana's lawsuit. They tried to serve him like 20-some times. Sean is dodging the civil lawsuit against him for the funds and Sebastian's Army and disability violation, or I don't know what you would call that. He's MIA.
In regards to anything, were you guys able to do any kind of counter surveillance or looking at the neighborhoods? Anything that you don't feel like you can talk about, then don't. But I'm just kind of curious if you guys did any reconnaissance in that neighborhood the house where he was allegedly walked out with no shoes on. It looked like multi-million-dollar homes from my Google search. How could there be no cameras on that block and nobody have, those are high-priced homes. They all have video footage. So Twilight, just threw a lot at you. If you can answer, that would be great.
I live near a hospital and life light's going by, so that's what you hear. We have been in that neighborhood. Me and the drone pilots have been in that neighborhood multiple times. We were in contact with TBI. As a matter of fact, we were out there on that last big search that there was law enforcement from every county there. K9 teams, I think we were the only recovery team that was there. But yes, we have most definitely been in that neighborhood, and I'm just like you, and there's a lot of questions that I have, but I don't ask the questions because it's not my job to get involved in the middle of an investigation. my responsibility is to come in with Dave and our team to do what we do best in that search with the information that law enforcement gives us. But yes, it's a very beautiful neighborhood. The houses are absolutely beautiful. As a matter of fact, I took some pictures and videos because I was blown away at how nice that area is now. Because when I was younger,
this is Twyla. This is the search and drone coordinator for Texas EquiSearch Midwest.
there was nothing there in that area, but now it's all subdivisions, very beautiful houses, $500,000 houses, like you said. But yes, we have been in the neighborhood. We have searched that neighborhood from top to bottom. Do we feel like I'll just say this, we know where he's not at.
Right. Yeah. And Dave, I wanted to go to you if you have any extra input to that. I know that you were driving around. Right.
From top to bottom, do we feel like I'll just say this, we know where he's not at. It's $500,000 houses, like you said. But yes, we have been in the neighborhood. We have searched that neighborhood from top to bottom. Do we feel like I'll just say this, we know where he's not at.
Right. Yeah. And Dave, I wanted to go to you if you have any extra input to that. I know that you were driving around maybe separately from Twyla, or if you were down there. I don't know exactly what you guys, I don't ask the questions. I just know you guys are professionals and you search, wherever you were responsible to search. But anything additional that you could add to the location or anything for the audience?
I mean, the only thing I can tell you is that when, the drone team was down there prior to us getting the second call was, our main role was to clear the ponds. And there was at least 43 ponds in that area. By the time that we were finished, in 2 days, we cleared more than 43. I think we were close to almost 50 because through our recon, we found even more that wasn't even on the map. So we went ahead and cleared everything that was in the TBI directed areas that they wanted us to go back over, make sure that there was nothing missed. And then at that point in time, we expanded it a little bit further. I think at one point in time, just the roads, and I think we were a block away from where we staged. I put on almost 60 road miles on my Razor, doing roadside ditches, in case you got hit by a car, and then.
Oh, wow. Wow. Did you hear that? Thank you so much, Tinfoil Tierra. 5 more Cooter ships. You have just entered the city limits of Cooterville. Come on in and close your legs. Holy cow. 55, I think we're at now. Holy shit. He has a Razor. So Bobby's kids were on a Razor. KNS. Thank you so much for 10 more. Wow, the support today is amazeballs. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, I don't know what to say other than thank you. That's so wild. I hope you do too, Arrow. Cooters everywhere. We don't know and we don't care. The team doesn't like people talking about actual important things related to this case. I know, running from the process server. And the green team said being hit by a car is ridiculous, right? Because SF said the same thing, that he was checking the sides of the roads. If they can't be served, you can sue by default. Is that what happens? I never knew that. Aw, Suze, I must have been. Andy. This is from May. I forgot now. Let me look. May 20th. I don't know why I can't remember that date. May 20th. So shortly after TikTok Tony came on the scene, we were watching TikToks when this was going on. Good afternoon, everyone.
I think we were a block away from where we staged. I put on almost 60 road miles on my Razor, doing roadside ditches, in case you got hit by a car, and then looking for other areas so that in case that we did get the phone call back, that we would already have some areas of concern that may turn out to be. So, but again, we covered everything that TBI expected us to, and it was a well-oiled machine with a lot of players, a lot of law enforcement. Again, we were the only search team outside of law enforcement that was on scene. So that meant a lot to us to be the only. So that's the trust factor that TBI has in us and the professionalism that we have and things that we can bring to the table. So but everything has been in a certain circumference. Everything has been, I would almost have to say, triple checked.
He says triple checked. Jen Sparky, I'm not a huge fan, but I'm not listening to what he's saying. I'm listening to what Twyla and Dave are saying.
Certain circumference, everything has been, I would almost have to say, triple checked. I even seen TBI agents, and this is no lie, and I understand what they were doing, but they were literally in people's front yards. They were in their fields doing line searches, looking for anything, glasses, anything that they can just give us a direction. So I know firsthand, and I've never seen that done before, to go into somebody's front yard and literally do a ground search in that tight of a grid, looking for something as minute as a pair of glasses. So
I saw a video.
Not to interrupt you, but I'll also tell you, we were responsible for the second time that our team was brung in. The first time it was me and the drone pilots. The second time it was our team. And I will tell you that we went out, recon these ponds or whatever, and I'll tell you that they were so thorough and wanted to be very cautious to make sure that everything around there was covered, that even if there was a pond in somebody's front yard, the agents that was assigned to us, great agents, they didn't care if that pond was in the front yard and you walk off that person's porch and that pond was right there. We was still sonaring it.
Whoa. Did y'all hear that? Thank you so much. Facts and truth only, please. I agree with you. And thank you for the 5 cooter ships. Welcome to Cooterville. Come on in and close your legs. No, you're cool, Jen. I'm listening for this. That's all.
The agents that was assigned to us, great team was brung in. The first time it was me and the drone pilots. The second time it was our team. And I will tell you that we went out, recon these ponds or whatever, and I'll tell you that they were so thorough and wanted to be very cautious to make sure that everything around there was covered, that even if there was a pond in somebody's front yard, the agents that was assigned to us, great agents, they didn't care if that pond was in the front yard and you walk off that person's porch and that pond was right there. We was still sonaring it to make sure there was nothing there.
Do you guys feel like there's more areas that need to be searched? And I know we look at the missing and we look at that 10 mile radius from the home, right? And you go by statistics, right, Dave and Twyla? Most of these folks that do in fact go missing, and there's,
in all reality, though, Slim Shady, there's been times where there's been multiple search efforts and they don't find someone, and then someone does. It's just like, sometimes it just happens like that. Sometimes people's remains, after a long time, it's just bones and they're scattered, and someone, comes across something.
Even if there is criminal behavior or not, most of the times they're found in that circumference. Dave, do you want to talk about that a little bit? And do you feel like they've done everything that they can do, or is there always more?
I mean, there's always more, because you haven't found what you're searching for, of course. But through the investigation, you also have to take some of that into consideration as far as, I think the homicide, the circumference now is over 10 miles from the point last seen. Right. But in this case, we don't know if it's foul play. Then you have to go back to who's seen him last, what was the circumstances, and how much time did that individual have. So there's a lot of factors, and then you have to ask yourself, did this kid have leather on his feet? I mean, because I just don't see a child going out and walking a country road or going through the woods barefooted. It was hard enough for us to go through with the clothing and boots that we had on. I cannot imagine somebody that didn't have the right clothing and definitely the shoes on his feet. So I take that into a lot of consideration as far as on how far, if he did, how far in could somebody get.
Yeah. Hey, I want to go to some of the super chatters and some of the folks who left messages, but I also want to, before I do that, just highlight some misinformation that was posted by Nick Beers. He has been following this case arguably from the beginning, and no matter what, if you like him or dislike him, he's reporting on facts. And he says, I appreciate that so many of you are continuing to show interest in this case. I'm just going to put it up on the screen so everybody can look at it. It's from Facebook. Thank you for messaging me with your questions. The 15-year-old autistic boy has been missing for more than 2 months from his Henderson, Tennessee home. vanished and not a trace found. Despite massive search efforts, authorities say that there's no evidence of foul play, though they have not ruled it out. In the absence of any new developments, armchair detectives on social media and podcasts create their own fiction. And I also appreciate so many of you contacting me to ask if any of it's true. You can trust I'll give you a straight answer. So what are a couple of the latest doozies? Now, I know that this is not probably well presented on the screen, but if you can't see it, I'm reading it word for word. So here's some of the doozies. Investigators have obtained new video showing Sebastian alive on February 26 when he disappeared. And that is highlighted with a big no. These are misinformations that he's highlighting. That's recent. These are the recent doozies. There is evidence showing Sebastian was in contact with his grandmother on his mother's side before he disappeared. No, that is not true. How do I know? Nick says, I've been in direct contact with the lead investigator with Sumner County Sheriff's Office, who says this latest stuff is all garbage. And I repeat, garbage. And this is what's muddying the waters and making things less than ideal for investigators. Would they like to have new leads? You bet. And they respond to all tips, but they deal with facts as I do. Do authorities tell us everything that they have in these case file? Nope. And I say that all the time. Ed and I both say that. But they won't lie and say something is false if it isn't. They will simply say no comment. Hopefully there will be a credible break in the case soon. But until then, please be very skeptical of stunning new developments unless they come from a credible official source. Call tips to 1-800-TBI-FINE. I say this all the time. And for those of you who are here in the chat, I mean, how many of you heard me say I don't go on anything other than bona fide information that's released from law enforcement? Now, I asked this question. I put a poll up, Dave and Twyla, and the poll started in the beginning of the show and is over 1,110 votes. And I asked people in the chat, if you haven't voted, go over to the vote poll. It's pinned in the chat.
Yeah, I put a poll up too. Do you think Sebastian was without shoes? Get your vote on. Get your vote on.
Do you think TBI and local law enforcement are doing enough to find out? Say, and then our poll.
Look at this.
And I gave a third decision, an astounding 57. Find out what happened to Sebastian Rogers.
Do you think Ellie's doing enough to find out what happened to Sebastian Rogers? Listen to the results of his poll.
And right now at 1,115 votes, 16% feel that they have done enough.
Only 16% of Duty Ron's poll feels like they've done enough. Look at the faces of Twyla and Dave. How disheartening, right? Listen to that
and
again.
Right now at 1,115 votes, 16% feel that they have done enough. An astounding 57% say no. And I gave a third decision, a third choice of undecided. And that was 26% are undecided.
Wow.
So they are from our poll, and this is obviously.
So that poll actually shows you how well Seth and Tony's campaign was working. Unbelievable.
Just who's watching here now, but our audience that's watching, almost 60% feel like the TBI and the locals have not done enough to find out what happened to Sebastian Rogers. I mean, it's disappointing, but we've seen this in other cases where people say, like, well, our boys from California City, that went on for over a year and a half. And everybody said Bakersfield and Cal City police are corrupt and they suck and they're not doing enough. And guess what? They locked up Trezell and Jacqueline West. And they're.
You know what they were saying at that time? They were saying that Chris Proudfoot's sister worked for the sheriff's department and that it was a big cover-up. Remember that? There is no third choice. You either think you had him or you don't. There is no third choice. That muddies the waters. Either he did or he didn't. Your gut tells you he did, or your gut tells you he didn't.
They're both spending 25 to life for the murders of their adopted sons, Sincere and Classic. That's Orrin and Orson West, who coincidentally, you guys, EquiSearch, sent drone pilots out into California, courtesy of Gene Robinson, to search that Kern River for their remains. And a lot of work was done on that case. And it's just another reminder that, you know, EquiSearch is here to go from the East Coast to the West Coast, north, south. You guys have been everywhere. and I have the stats, but I don't have it in front of me. But you've been to Aruba. You've been all over the place. You guys searched in Aruba for Natalie Holloway, right?
Wow.
So there's a long history to what EquiSearch, Texas EquiSearch, and EquiSearch Midwest has done. But again, guys, continue to vote in this poll, and I'll let you know the results. But I don't see it changing.
Jen, I don't
hashtag
know.
Hashtag Dave, hashtag Twyla for your questions. I'm going to go and look at some of these super chats. Thank you, Sue, for becoming a member. Kelly, thank you for becoming a member. And coincidentally, you members and every cent
Christmas
we as a community donated. She 13, but we were able to use recently.
Right,
great guy, and I've donated to him. I got to have him come catch them and lock them up. They're there for a reason, and that's to find the missing. Correct me, guys, if I'm wrong here.
No, absolutely 100% correct. And regardless of, we don't voice our opinions on what we think happened and this, that, and the other. We go in and we treat these people like they're our family. And if there's any kind of criminal acts or anything like that, that's up to law enforcement to handle. But until then, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm a friend to them. If they want to call me at 2:00 in the morning and vent and cry or whatever, I'm here to listen. I'm not here to judge them. I'm only here to try to help find their missing loved one, to bring them home for closure. As a team, that all my teammates, you will never ever see any of our teammates on social media give an opinion or attacking people or anything like that. Basically, we go in as their friend and we listen to whatever they want to, put out there. I've hugged them. I've hugged Summer Wells' parents. I've hugged Sebastian's parents. I'm not going to go in all hateful and all judgmental. No, I can't do that because I have a heart. They have a heart. And at the end of the day, there's only one person that can judge, and he's right above us.
Amen to that. I want to just get to some of these highlighted chats because they're important here. Becky is a member for 22 months. I pray they find these kids. Too many are missing. Amen, Becky. Jazzy Jewel, member for 17 months. Hi, Duty Ron, Twyla, Dave. Thank you for all. Dave, hashtag Twyla.
So we don't search any different than we do before. We have a lot of new, we call them toys in our toy box. These days, everybody's wanting to do technology. So most of the time when we get cases, we look it up to see, if we like to put drones out first because the drones can cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time. And then we can run those images. People think, oh, well, you put drones up in the air and the trees and stuff is so thick. How are you going to see anything through it? It only takes a piece of a clothing, maybe this big, to pop through those trees for a color that we're looking for. So we put the drones out there. And then even when we put drones out there, unless it's just a wide open field, that we can clearly see on the images that there's nothing there, we still put foot searchers in there. We have resources as canines. If we run canines we don't have canines on our team, but we use a resource of canines. If we run canines somewhere, we put foot.
And it ain't Julia. Just saying. I mean, think of all the fuckery we heard from Julia and that whole in Tara Lynn, all this crap.
Searchers in behind them. Everything we do, we make sure we double check with every single tool that we have in our toolbox or toy box to make sure that area is 100% clear. The only thing different that we do now from before is it seems like there's so many more missing people these days than it was before. My phone don't stop ringing. Dave's phone don't stop ringing. This past weekend was the first weekend that I was at home. The weekend before that, me and the drone pilots and the team was in one area in Tennessee. The weekend before that, the drone pilots and me was in another area in Tennessee. We're fixing to have to make a big old trip in Dave, 2 weeks? I'm not going to disclose where this is going to be at yet. This is going to be a big travel for our team. So the only thing different now is we have more cases than we did before because it's like people are just vanishing, especially kids.
Right. Well, Twyla, you answered Curious Kiwi's message tenfold. So thank you for that, Twyla. Ella Blue is a member for 4 months, and she says, love and prayers from Alberta, Canada. You guys got an international audience here that love your dedication. Libby Katz, a member for 3 months, says, love the dedication. I saw this a lot in the chat. So she sent in a $5 super chat, and thank you for the support. Twyla or Dave, can you handle this? Old Hickory Lake, ? Will TVA let the water level down? Sonar, ? Towards the Maple subdivision south, and I'm not familiar with the area. I know you guys are better than me. And towards
wait, what is this? Clue, listen up. It says Old Hickory Lake ? Will TVA let the water level down ? Sonar ? South ? And towards Maple Motors west ? Thank you. God bless. Was this the area that kid was spotted in, Clue? I wonder. Here, let me slow it down a little bit.
It's Maple Motors.
It's not. Do you know where this is, Clue? Old Hickory Lake? Maple Motors?
West. Thank you and God bless.
So I'll answer this question the best I can. Don't think I'm being rude or anything like that. But if that's an area of interest that bothers you and there's something that, you know, it makes sense that would put somebody over in that area, or if he would have wandered or whatever, make sure that whatever you guys is telling us that are areas that you feel like you need to be searched, maybe reach out to TBI and give them the information too. I have had people reach out to me about that particular lake. I have spoke with the TBI agent about that lake, and I can tell you right now, I used to live over in the area, and if he was in that lake, there's no doubt in my mind that that child would have been found by now, because it is a very, very busy lake. People fish there all the time. When I asked TBI about us going out and searching, he's like, if you guys want to go out and search it, that's 100% fine with me. Just let me know. But I don't feel that there's a need for us to go search it, because in my opinion, I feel like that has already been searched. And if he was there, I feel like somebody would have already reported it or found him or something like that. It's a very, very big place.
So did you guys search that lake, or was that on the search for that second search that you guys went? Because you talked about a lot of ponds or a lot of areas being covered during that search. Do you know if that was?
Our team did not search that lake that day, but I can tell you we've searched all the ponds within that immediate area, but we did not search that lake.
There was a lot that you guys did. And David, I'm sorry if I'm keeping you out, but Twyla's.
No, that's fine.
That was a pretty specific place, to be honest, that woman brought up.
Anytime that you feel that there's something that you want to add to it, just jump in. So you guys searched. I remember you telling me you searched a lot of ponds. And as a matter of fact, one day when you were telling me you had X amount of ponds to search, I was like, you're going to do that in one day? So it wasn't just you guys. You had LE with you, and you had other teams. There's a lot of people asking, does EquiSearch just do the search and recovery? Do you guys do anything else? And I believe the answer to that is that's all you guys do is the searching, right?
We do search and recovery. We don't necessarily, we try to help as much as we possibly can. Don't get me wrong with what I'm about to say or twist my words, which I know these guys won't, because you got great people on here. We try to stick to recovery, because rescue, yeah, we could possibly do it, but at the same time, we'd much rather stick with recovery. We don't try to do like runaways unless, you know, we're requesting. Now, Dave or myself, actually, we'll hop on a, you know, if some
Fuck. Thank you, Clue. Damn it. So did you hear what she said? She said they only do recoveries. Streamlabs said Jay unmute. What the fuck? Yeah, she said they only do recovery. They don't do runaways. So why would the TBI call them in twice if they thought Sebastian ran away? No, they're not investigators. But why would the TBI call them in twice if they thought he ran away? It's a command? Oh my God, that's funny.
great people on here. We try to stick to recovery, because rescue, yeah, we could possibly do it, but at the same time, we'd much rather stick with recovery. We don't try to do like runaways unless, you know, we're requesting. Now, Dave or myself, actually, we'll hop on a, you know, if somebody contacts us about a child, immediately, you know, we go, but we try to stick to the recovery end of it, because rescue, I don't think that we'd be able to keep up if we did rescue and recovery.
Dave, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, you know, the thing that sets us apart as far as our team and what I try to do is we also do evidence recovery. So we've had several, municipalities, law enforcement agencies does that.
You know what's really eerie is that Maddie Soto was found off Hickory Lake Road. Dude, that is weird. She goes missing the same day. And Hickory Lake Road.
Actually contacted us on firearms that had been thrown out the windows on high-speed chases. We had one that was, between Dayton and Cincinnati that they was involved in a murder, and they called us out along I-75, which is one of the main corridors north and south, and we literally found everything except the clip to the gun and along an exit. So we're also expanding into the evidence recovery also when we're called out. So it's not only for the missing, but it's we're also known for evidence also.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. There's a lot of super chats coming in, but I want to highlight our good friend. This is one of my fellow brothers who I worked with in the trenches in East New York and Brownsville. I was on patrol with Dennis, retired Irish detective, a member here. Look, this is a testament to our community. This is one of my fellow brothers in blue. We worked in the trenches together, like I said, arm to arm, shoulder to shoulder. Retired Irish detective says, "Hey, brother, thank you, Twyla and Dave, for all that you do." He's one of the good guys. And again, like I said, this is my brother. I would die for this guy. So, and I would die for you guys, too, City of New York. So thank you for your support. We're running out of time so quick here. Everything that comes in here tonight, I'm going straight to this banner on right here and putting
These shirts is so.
So I've got EquiSearch Midwest, and there's a saying on the back. And
investigating, we're on the ground searching what's led us into that direction. So, and again, do we take into consideration some of what the parents want checked also, if it's close enough? Absolutely, because then that makes them feel good, because if it's bothering them, I also want to make sure that they feel good about, okay, we're close enough, let's go ahead and check this also. That way it can put.
Okay, it's funny too, because he's talking about, speaking with the parents. They only spoke with Chris and Katie, guys. I don't think they talked to Seth. I'm not sure that he ever talked to them. And when he was asked if they were out there, he mispronounced their organization name. I mean, if he didn't do anything, he is the most ungrateful person. Streamlabs.
Their mind at ease and they're wondering. So, and again, I just want to say thank you to you, Ron, and your community is just absolutely amazing. And I just want to touch, if I can, and if time allows, I just want to touch a base of, we've been down now going to Tennessee for a couple of times. And I don't mind telling you where we're going to go. I just got a phone call today. We just spent 2 days up in Dayton, Ohio, looking for a guy that unfortunately fell into the river up there. So we were up there for 2 days prior to to our fundraiser up there. We just got another phone call from Cleveland, from the U.S. Marshals, on another case that we may be doing in a week or so. Then after that, we have Wisconsin on a case down just south of in Waukesha, which is just south of, that's Isaiah, that is correct, in Vernon, Wisconsin, which is just south of Milwaukee. And I know that we, just so I can put everything to bed, as far as we are not on the ground yet, everything is being planned and put into place on this. We are not in Wisconsin because we had another case for Elijah View that is up between Milwaukee and Green Bay. We had extensive talks to their law enforcement agencies, and come to find out that what we were going to send up there with the drone teams, they were already using, so it would have duplicated the efforts, which they're doing a phenomenal job. We have a line of open communication that if there's something that they don't have and that they need from us, that at that point in time, they know that they can give us a call, and then we'll figure it out what we need to do. So this money that and again, I never ask for money. I just, people do it from the bottom of their hearts. Do we need it? Absolutely. And I wanted to bring up everywhere that we're going, because that's what these donated dollars do, is they get us from point A to point B. I've been in 19 different states, and if I get to Wisconsin, that's going to be 20 states. 12's been all the way out to Utah. So, I mean, it's not like we're just staying in our city, or we're not just staying in our own state. I mean, we are literally taking and covering at least a third, if not a little over a third of the United States, if you want to look at it that way. So we're really trying to accommodate everything. So we're trying to grow, but we want to grow slowly, so we don't so we do things the right way.
Where did these department citations come from? Can you talk a little bit about this briefly so we can get an idea? This is on the Facebook page. I'm seeing this and showing this to the folks. It's a bunch of department citations for all your members, no?
Yes.
No, it is. So, I mean, this was from the city of Dayton, Ohio. Matter of fact, we spent a lot of time up in Dayton, Ohio. We do a lot of things for Dayton PD, Trotwood, Miamisburg, Troy, Ohio. I mean, we go up there. Matter of fact, we spend so much time up there. I'm sitting there thinking, do I need to change my area code to 937? But this was, these are all unexpected when this comes out. We just go and we do what we do. We don't look for anything in return. But when we do get something like this and you're recognized for all your hard work, it kind of gives you that spark, and it kind of gives you that inspiration that you are making a difference. And you're covering a lot of ground for the right reasons, and you are respected as a team.
I could say big time, this coming from a police department giving out department citations to outside agencies, these things don't happen often, but they definitely do happen. They just don't get fanfare. They recognize good work, and that's what you got right there. I was proud when I saw that, and kudos to you guys. I tip my cap to you, because that's a testament to how hard you do look for the missing and help out these law enforcement agencies. But Dave and Twyla, I got to get to these super chats because I want to acknowledge all of them. Michael Joseph Murray, thank you for your super sticker.
Can throw him up under the bus. I'm the bus driver. That's you guys should look. This will get closure, but there'll be no justice, because I'll say it straight up. He took the coward way out and committed suicide.
Case, and some people are like, well, why aren't you talking about Sebastian this whole time? It's not. They are searching for the missing, and that includes everyone that they're asked to come in to with law enforcement. So when law enforcement calls them, if they get a tug on the shoulder from Missouri, or if they get a tug on the shoulder from Connecticut or Vermont or down in Texas or Tennessee or California, they're going. Look, you guys were out in Utah searching for Dylan Rounds. You would have never thought that EquiSearch would go into Utah in the desert and start searching. You guys did. So there's so many cases that we could talk about here, but listen, we're trying to keep Sebastian in the spotlight here tonight. It's about that, but it's also about supporting these great people who do this. There's many that are great, and there's many that are out there that are not so great. So you have to get around the people who are bona fide great ones. And I'm the law enforcement liaison for these guys, and I do what I can to communicate with any agencies that they ask me to communicate with. I'm not going to insert myself into other agencies without consulting and talking with these guys. So they ask me, hey, Ron, can you reach out to such and such agency? I'm like, sure. I drop everything and I do it. So that's what's important. Nancy, thank you for the $10. She says, how do we know the clothes that he was wearing is true? No one some people may be lying. And that's true, because there's no video. We have no evidence that he left wearing, I have it written down, brown hair, brown eyes, wearing black sweatshirt, sweatpants, black sweatshirt, and has a medical condition and had his glasses on. We just got to go by what the mom told us, Katie Proudfoot. And I got to ask you, Twyla, did you meet any of these parents, or can you talk about that, or do you not want to talk about it? Did you or Dave meet the three of there's three parents involved here, right? You got Chris, Katie's husband, and you got and you got the father, Seth. Did any of you all meet these folks and talk with them, or do you not want to talk about that?
Oh no, I can talk about it. Yes, I did. I met with them the first time me and the drone pilots went out. Had very long conversations with Chris and Katie. As a matter of fact, I read the mother's statement at the vigil. I was willing to let her go with me to the vigil. I literally, and this is something I wanted to say real quick. Sometimes we can't always focus all of our attention and put everything out there about one particular case. For Sebastian's case, it has gotten so bad that we've just decided to stay silent about it, because anything you say gets twisted around and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I wanted to say that if we venture onto another case, that's why, because we don't want to say too much, because we're afraid of what the internet might do. But to answer your question, yes, Isn't that a shame?
Isn't that a shame that you have to be afraid of what the internet's going to do? And that's what makes these cases even more sad. When you look at that component, that people are hesitant about talking about it. And I see people putting stuff in the chat that some people are getting their tires slashed and all kinds of craziness. Like that's not putting Sebastian at the forefront. That's putting yourself at the forefront. And this infighting, and I don't even want to grab for it, but the Jagaloon sign's right over there. You guys know I have that sign, and I'd have to move my cup of coffee, and I'm going to move it because I want to get it. Jagaloon Lane, it comes into effect. And the people that are doing that have no care in the world about this kid, and no care in the world about finding him, because they're putting themselves and saying, look at me. And that's horrific. That's horrific. Here's another super chat. EchoSearch groups are fantastic search resources for local and state law enforcement. Thank you for your time, your money, and of course, your steadfast steeds and their health. Steadfast efforts in their health. Robin McCool, thank you for that super chat. We appreciate it.
Me too, TN.
Just to finish your question, in case somebody else says it in the chat, yes, we have, me and the two drone pilots have spent time with Katie, Chris, and we also met Seth. I have also spoke with Seth on the phone. I don't share anything that's been said to me. They haven't told me anything.
Don't want you to.
So she spoke to Seth on the phone, but met Chris and Katie in person and read Katie's statement.
Spent time with Katie, Chris, and we also met Seth. I have also spoke with Seth on the phone. I don't share anything that's been said to me. They haven't told me anything.
Don't want you to. But that's just a general question. Have you communicated with the Proudfoots and Seth? And the answer to that is yes. Salty Sea, a member for 30 months. Wow. Much love and respect to you that are doing this, because they sent these highlighted super chats. Annabelle Roma, thank you to all three of you. Question for Dave and Twyla. Have you ever had to testify in court about strange behaviors or statements from families of the missing that you were searching for? Good question. Thank you, Annabelle.
No.
I really think that the glasses, I think the sighting on the 26th shows him with glasses. That's just my opinion.
I've had to testify in court, but it wasn't for family or anything. It was because of somebody that we found, or that we were actually searching for.
So you were first on the scene to find that individual's remains, and then they subpoenaed you for court, right?
Well, we didn't actually find her, but we were brought in afterwards to recover more. But we spent a long time looking for Paige Johnson.
Wow.
So that was the one that I was called in on. So.
Angela S., who's a good friend from Long Island here, she says, thank you, $5. Thank you for that, Angela. Thank you, Dave, Twyla, for everything you do. Lost is not alone. Amen. Thank you, Angela. Mystery 19 sends in a super sticker. I appreciate it. Every penny counts. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Teresa B sends in $50 and says, God bless Dave and Twyla. And she's calendar. Thanks for all you. I like this message. The Dave, hashtag Twyla, mid-24. So this to.
Anyways, when we were leaving the area, the girl asked, she's out there walking with us with her baby. We wasn't searching at the time, but she's out there walking with us. And I become friends with this girl. And she asked later on, so what are you guys going to do after you get through searching? I'm like, we'll probably go get something to eat. We literally went in filthy at Cracker Barrel to eat. Dirt all over us, everything. And this girl went with us. And the story of this child.
What girl?
Well, girl, maybe.
Gentleman of EchoSearch Midwest. I'd want to see what's her name with the gun on the outside. Who's that? Genova? I want Genova doing like one of these poses with the gun.
I actually have a picture that I could send you from maybe last weekend. We were out on a search, and pitiful girl that we came across over some stuff that we were doing, this, that, and other. She was a very big help. Pitiful. Anyways, when we were leaving the area, the girl asked, she's out there walking with us with her baby. We wasn't searching at the time, but she's out there walking with us. And I become friends with this girl. And she asked later on, so what are you guys going to do after you get through searching? I'm like, we'll probably go get something to eat. We literally went in filthy at Cracker Barrel to eat. Dirt all over us, everything. And this girl went with us. And the story this girl had to tell was so super sad. But we took her in, when she left there, asked Dave, that girl was glowing, because I told her, I said, I'm your friend now. I'm not going nowhere. These are my angels too, and these are your angels. So I love having friends. But yeah, Genova was in that picture. I'll have to send it.
Wait, some girl? Pitiful girl?
To you and let you see her.
Genova's a badass. I want to buy her a cup of coffee. Mama She 13 says $49.99 for the calendar. Let's do it. She's paying double. How about that? Muddy Paws sends in $2 just to say this. Well, if there are banana hammocks involved, that's another story. A humor when we're talking about the year in 2023 that boys and girls go through a lot of trauma with recovering body parts and folks who have been missing for multiple years and so forth. So it's always good to mix in. And Ed and I do it all the time because we saw so much horror between the World Trade Center and the mass casualties that we had there and Bell Harbor that year to year. And some people don't understand a little.
In order to balance it, because if you don't, you're not going to last very long in this industry. That's for sure.
It can certainly get the best of you, right, Twyla?
Huh?
It certainly can get the best of you.
Oh.
There was one other thing that I wanted to talk about. There was a photo of Sebastian, or there was a photo that was circulating in North Carolina that depicted a child that looked like Sebastian.
I want to hear what they say about this.
The internet went crazy on this one for weeks. And I know, Twyla, you must have seen it. Dave, I'm sure you saw it. The kid definitely looked like Sebastian. There's no question about it. But these authorities, these law enforcement authorities went and got together with the North Carolina authorities and did whatever they had to do. And
me too, Mr.
Again,
Potato,
it wasn't him.
Tomato Head.
And I want to play this piece because it's important. It's just a very short little piece, but people went wild doing crazy live streams for 2-3 hours talking about this and looking at the picture, analyzing it, and so forth. But it wasn't him. And again, a lot
Nicole
of things.
G, thank you for the
just get
scratch
blown out of
off.
proportion. So I want to just play this.
It's in the search for Sebastian Rogers. We're hearing from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office after a photograph with a rumored sighting goes viral. Now, I want to show you the image. This was taken at a...
It certainly looked a lot like him, but I was definitely suspect of it because we didn't know the origin of it and who took it and so forth. But they did their due diligence on this, and it definitely was a big letdown to some people because there was a lot of people riding high on this. But when people sent me messages about it, I said, I'm going to just stay quiet about it because until it's vetted by the proper authorities, not by internet detectives, not by people who say and feel this. And TikTok went crazy. This thing went viral on TikTok. I don't think it went viral on YouTube, but it went viral on TikTok.
Yeah, because TikTok, you know why?
Going crazy.
You know why, Judy, Ron? Because TikTok is crazy.
Rest stop in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Now, some say it looks like the missing 15-year-old from Sumner County. However, after coordinated efforts with law enforcement agencies in North Carolina, the sheriff's office has determined that child depicted is not Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian was reported missing from his Hendersonville home February 26th.
So there it is. Again, people say, oh, whoever was responsible for that picture took too long. Yeah, yes, I agree. But it's just, again, you have to just be guided by what the authorities are telling you, whether you're happy with them or not. Let me look at the poll. Gosh, almost 2,000 votes.
Ooh, let's see the poll.
Feel that the TBI and local law enforcement are doing enough to find out what happened to Sebastian Rogers.
2,000 people and only 15% think that LE is doing enough.
Decided.
Well, but if I wouldn't mind saying something here, as far as what people have to understand is just because you don't see, it's not in your face, doesn't mean that they've given up. So there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that is happening that's out of the limelight of Facebook and social media and the news. So I can rest assure you that they're not giving up on this child. So don't make sure that you're thinking this thing all the way through. What's really funny is I just got a text from a news reporter down in Nashville. Are you coming to help search for Sebastian Rogers in Hendersonville, Tennessee? And I said we was there, and along with TBI in the last big search, nobody has reached out to us since. So I'm not sure if they're starting to plan another one, and we may get that phone call. I'm not sure if there's anything else going on that we haven't been contacted on, but rest assured that I'm sure that if TBI is involved, they would absolutely invite us back to partake into that the next big search.
I bet you I can guess who that reporter was, and I bet you his name was Nick. But
I bet you not. It's Channel 2 News.
Channel 2.
Dave just shot me down.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything in the?
So Channel 2 was hitting up Dave Rader in May. This is May 20th, asking if they were coming back to search for Sebastian.
Chat. I want to just scan through the chat again and thank you to all the super chatters. Katina is here, a supporter, longtime supporter of this community, and so many great people. Again, I want to just give it a chance. If I missed your question, it's not on purpose. I'm looking now at the chat.
Yes, Jody.
Dave and Twyla, if you have anything additional that you want to add to this while I'm looking at the chat. So someone's complaining that Dave is much louder than everybody else when he talks, or maybe I'm much louder. This isn't a perfect show. This is
loud.
Yeah, Dave is loud.
But I'm always like, shh. No.
And I'm not even feeling good, so I can't imagine that if I had my regular voice, what I would sound like. So,
Hey, I want to
so,
get
Mike, it didn't do it. Maybe his-
agents that I'm working with on Sebastian's case. I feel like that they're doing a whole lot more than people think. And there's been times that I've communicated with this agent with TBI at 8, 9 o'clock at nighttime. So I feel like they're doing a lot.
Right.
Hear that?
From my point of view. Working with quick, I feel with my opinion of working with the TBI agents that I'm working with on Sebastian's case, I feel like that they're doing a whole lot more than people think. And there's been times that I've communicated with this agent with TBI at 8, 9 o'clock at nighttime. So I feel like they're doing a lot.
Right.
From my point of view.
And you guys got a firsthand view, like better than any of us, of what they're doing, because you saw that whole mustered up group of people on that second search and maybe even on the first search. So you guys got a better bird's eye view of like some of the inner workings of the enormity of these searches. Like we look at it in news reports and it's really hard to get a good grasp of how massive it is. And I remember
actually, Sean said it was him to Nancy Grace. I'll find the clip.
When you were at Summer Wells, there was like 300 members of the service from all over the place down there. That must have been like unbelievable. I mean, I know you've been on a lot of big searches, but that was impressive when I saw the drone shot of that, of all the mustered personnel for Summer Wells searching down in Tennessee there. The Sebastian case, it still looked like a lot. It didn't look like as many as with Summer, but there was a lot. Look at this comment. Kathy Pease, let's talk about it, says law enforcement has pulled out all the stops for Sebastian while there are 42 other missing kids. Just saying.
Shout out Kathy.
She's right. Like there's a concentrated effort to search for Sebastian, but look, we highlighted all these other Tennessee missing. Tennessee has like a very high rate of missing people, and those families look at this and say, there's a Layla her mom's all over TikTok looking for her for almost a year. Her daughter just vanished out of nowhere. I know I didn't say the name right, but she's been jumping up and down on TikTok every day, all day, every day. And I apologize for not getting it right, but there's so many people, there's so many people that go missing and don't get this kind of attention. So we want to Santinello. Thank you. There it is. I knew somebody would correct me, but that woman came to my thoughts with a lot of 24 hours a day.
To do nothing but run the missing in that state, so people can tune in.
With that, and guarantee it.
I want to see if there's any
family like Lawrence Spears, and if for all search groups across the United States.
Yeah. Start somewhere, Dave, and that was I'm
down a little bit. So, but to answer your question, Ron, yes, absolutely, we would go back in a heartbeat.
Okay, here we go. Listen.
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Dave, I want to go to you for final thoughts. And I know you put out a lot of information here, but final thoughts as it pertains to Sebastian Rogers here tonight. Again, I asked you, would you go back if asked to go back and search for him?
100%, without a doubt, and more than willing to. He still needs to be found. There's still, there's still more work to be done. But again, we have to wait for the investigation to put us in the right spot and narrow this down a little bit. So, but to answer your question, Ron, yes, absolutely, we would go back in a heartbeat.
Beautiful. And look, here's Kristen, who helps me out with behind the scenes.
So they said they would be ready and willing to go back. In the last interview, he's like, would you go back? And Dave was like, when do I need to start packing? Yeah, Chris has been very, he must be good at remembering detail and stuff. Maybe that's just part of him. But yeah, back to that sighting. Let's watch some of this, because the title of this damn video right here says, "Missing Sebastian Rogers sighted. Dad says it's him. Cops say no." Bella, what are you barking at? Dad says it's him. Cops say no.
And with us tonight, live, Dad Seth Rogers to address that polygraph. Tonight, where is missing autistic boy Sebastian Rogers?
Oh, you know what else? You know what else was interesting? You know the case I told you about I'm going to cover Monday, the Trenton Duckett? Trenton Duckett's, okay, between his parents, his dad took the polygraph with law enforcement. The mom would not. The mom would not.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
Realizes that a boy in the photo bears a striking resemblance to Sebastian Rogers and contacts authorities. Investigators have been trying to locate the person in the photo. The sheriff's office confirms that they have reached out to North Carolina authorities about the picture, but so far, nothing credible has resulted from their inquiries.
Tonight, a mysterious update in the search for a missing autistic boy as a woman shares a photo of a little boy bearing an uncanny resemblance to missing autistic boy Sebastian Rogers. Take a look at it. Joining us, an all-star panel to make sense of what we are hearing. But first, I want to go straight out to Sebastian's father joining us, Seth Rogers. You can find him at hashtag Sebastian Strong. Seth, thank you for being with us. Seth, I was stunned when I saw the side-by-side of Sebastian and the boy spotted at the guest center. What do you make of it? And I'd like to see that side-by-side if possible. Go ahead, Seth.
When I saw the picture, I turned around and loaded up the vehicle and off to North Carolina I went.
Lauren Conlon is joining us, investigative journalist and host of the Outlier podcast. Lauren, thank you for being with us. What can you tell me about the sighting? Because the authorities are not saying it's not him. They are saying, quote, nothing credible is pointing to the sighting of Sebastian. In other words, they haven't been able to confirm it yet. Remember, this is like a rest stop, a tourist center. People are visiting there that could live in any of the surrounding states.
Absolutely, Nancy. And I think what's important to note here is that North Carolina authorities have not identified the boy in the photo. So as of right now, it's still considered a potential lead.
Guys, joining us is Seth Rogers, Sebastian's dad, and Lauren Conlon, host of Outlier podcast. Seth, tell me what went through your mind when you first saw this photo. And when you compare them side by side, it's really uncanny.
My son's alive. That he looks good in the picture. I mean, he's got clothes on, he's got shoes on.
Do you recognize the clothes?
No, I don't.
How about the shoes?
Don't recognize those either. They look brand new.
How far away? Yes, they do. In fact, the clothes look new as well. How far away, in your estimation, Seth, is this rest stop, tourist attraction area from Sebastian's home?
It's about 6 hours, give or take, with traffic.
How did you become?
Look at how they have the Natchez Park, the landfill, and then the sighting way over here. That is so weird, Granny.
I'm aware of the sighting, the alleged sighting.
People started calling me and asking me about the picture, and then people turned around and started sending me the picture.
And again, what went through your mind when you first saw it?
I gotta go. I gotta go up there. I gotta see, the picture's there. I wanted to go see the footage because I figured there'd be some type of surveillance.
Hey, Tilt-A-Whirl.
And did you go?
I did. I drove up to North Carolina.
You took the 6-hour-plus ride to North Carolina to investigate this photo, and what?
Yeah,
if
Chris
anything,
and
did you
Katie
learn
got
when you
slammed. They got
Then I wasn't
slammed.
allowed to see the video footage.
Why?
But I was told it's an active investigation, so I'm not allowed to see it.
Who told you that, Seth?
People at the park.
It's my understanding the woman who took the picture was also convinced that this looked exactly like Sebastian and handed it over to the TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and then later it was posted online. Is that your understanding, Seth?
Yes, ma'am.
Seth, when you saw this picture, how did it make you feel?
Gave me hope. It rekindled what hope I was losing.
Seth, I'm looking at the way the boy is standing in this photo. I know you've looked at it a million times. He's
Yeah,
got
him and
his
Michaela
right
went.
arm somewhat over his stomach. And I'm wondering, does this pose look familiar to you?
By the looks of it, he's stepping down off the rocks and stuff. He's looking at where he's going.
Yeah.
But he's also been missing for 2 months. So his demeanor and everything could possibly have shifted.
In what way? Why do you say that?
I haven't heard from my son in 2.5 months. You know, if he doesn't have a phone with him, you know, he hasn't heard from me. If somebody convinced him to go away and won't give him a phone, I don't know.
What? If someone convinced him to go away, clean your damn top of your fridge, Sean, if you're going to be on live streams. Damn it.
He hasn't heard from me.
This must be, let's see, what's the date on this? May 8th. May 8th. This is when, remember, this is one of the first interviews he did after TikTok Tony, because TikTok Tony said he was coming in to clean up. And then Sean started wearing the collared shirt. I think he wore it for maybe 1 or 2 times. I don't think he wore a collared shirt more than 1 or 2 times. And then Sean was like, no, I'm running this show. I'm going to wear a fucking t-shirt.
If somebody convinced him to go away and won't give him a phone, I don't know.
Let me ask you, Seth, is it correct that your PI that you had to hire, which is a whole nother can of worms, spoke to the person that took the photo?
No. My other PI, Chloe, she's the one that spoke with him.
I couldn't hear you. What?
The other PI on the case, she's the one that spoke with him.
Why did she say, I'm sorry, what? So he didn't even talk to the person that took the picture. Do you hear this? Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen. So this fake thingy. Oh, do I have a show for you today? We aren't even close to being done. Listen to that. Oh my God. Only Chloe heard from the person. Wow.
Spoke to the person that took the photo?
No. My other PI, Chloe, she's the one that spoke with him.
I couldn't hear you. What?
The other PI on the case, she's the one that spoke with him.
So a PI on the case did speak with the photographer, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did the PI learn?
When she took the picture and why she didn't call 911 immediately, and what she did when she reviewed the picture, and the fact that she asked why she put it on social media, and it was because she stated that it was because TBI didn't get back with her after she had submitted it.
What else did you learn? Why did she decide to take the...
TBI didn't get back with her after she submitted it. So she put it out there.
She put it on social media, and it was because she stated that it was because TBI didn't get back with her after she had submitted it.
What else did you learn? Why did she decide to take the picture? And what else could she tell you through the PI about who this boy was with? What was he doing?
Nothing.
Was he crying? Did he look hungry? Was he with a man or a woman?
The individual that took the picture was actually her husband that took the picture, because he was faster with his phone than she was. And they were driving by, and he took the picture. And then when they were able to look at it, and they submitted it to TBI, they didn't hear back from TBI that they had received the picture or anything else, so they put it out on social media.
Guys, bullshit. TBI is not going to call you and go, hey, we received your picture that you sent in. What kind of bullshit is he handing out? Can someone tell me? Do you guys want to watch the ASAP Rocky trial? Have you guys seen that? Yeah, driving by. What are they talking about? It looks photoshopped to me. That photo never appeared correct or right in so many ways to me. I never gave it much attention, to be honest with you.
As you were seeing the photo we're talking about, to Lauren Conlon joining us. Lauren, exactly where is this rest stop or tourist attraction?
So it's in North Carolina. It is the Blue Ridge Mountains Visitor Center. And like Seth said, Sebastian did not appear to be in this photo. And I think all of us are very hopeful. And I think it's amazing that Seth went to North Carolina and drove 5 hours from Tennessee.
Back to Seth. Did the man or the woman see who the boy was with?
No, they said they didn't even know if they were with the group or not. They didn't know if the lady was with them.
What lady? The lady in the pink shirt?
Yeah.
Did he emerge from a car?
They just saw him as they drove through where they're at right now was like the parking lot is behind there. Right in front of there is the entrance into like the gift shop. So him being there, there's no way to see if he was getting in or out of a car right there.
So he was on his way into the gift shop, Seth?
That's the direction that he's heading.
Well, that seems to me that there should be gift shop surveillance video or at least other witnesses. So is that the surveillance video you were trying to get, Seth?
Yes, it was.
Now, we know that a statement has been issued that, quote, nothing credible is pointing to any sign.
The title of this interview is Sebastian Rogers cited. Dad says it's him. Cops say no. So let that speak for itself. It is cleared, yes.
Of Sebastian.
But even though the cops say no, he's still on Nancy Grace saying it is. Look over here, not over there. In my opinion.
That's pretty vague. Nothing credible is pointing to any sign of Sebastian. That's incredibly vague. It doesn't say this picture is a hoax, this picture is a fake, this is not Sebastian. They're not saying any of that. What do you make of that response, Seth?
That they don't know what to say.
Joining me, guys, also is Irv Brandt, renowned investigator, former U.S. Marshal Service, International Investigations branch, and author of Flying Solo, Top of the World on Amazon. Irv, thank you.
Okay, so you know what this reminded me of? Something I wanted to revisit. This is, do you remember Blue Eyes? Remember we played this thing? This interview? And remember this lady was supposed to come on my channel and she never did? And Jesus Christ almighty. But this is the woman who said that she went to Grandfather Mountain to follow up on the tip for Chris Proudfoot. She was on this channel called Lolly. Now, Lolly has since become a member of the Green Team. I don't know what she thinks, what she feels. I don't know Lolly. However, I did play this back in, it says, woman who's been communicating with the Proudfoots comes forward. And I streamed this on June 20th. Do you remember this? You think she was a plant? I want to hear it again. I don't know Lolly, but all I'm telling you is I spoke with Blue Eyes, and then Blue Eyes was supposed to come on my show, and she never did. But she says she was in communication with the Proudfoots. And this has been a long time. This, like I said, back in June 20th, to be exact. So here's, let's listen to some of this. This is J is for Justice replaying Lolly.
Went to Hendersonville. She met Seth's mom, Seth's dad, Chris and Katie.
Okay, she met Seth's mom, dad,
and Chris and Katie, she said. And she's been in contact with. That's Tara Lynn, Mike, not Lolly. Chris and Katie. But the thing I didn't understand is why she's all of a sudden spilling the beans. Yeah, they do sandwich, but it's okay. We love our callers. We do. Oh, see, Sandwich, who's over there in Brittany J's hating on me. Sandwich, it was here loving on me back in June. And Sandwich will most likely be back. It's okay, Sandwich. I don't hold grudges on case opinions. So we're going to start watching this, and I'm going to pause it as we go, but let's see. Hang on, let me find the right spot. Thank you for subscribing, Red Sky. I'm trying to find the beginning. Hold on. All right. Her out. Ah, okay. Thank you, Miss Southern Tea. So I haven't seen all of this. I wanted to save some of it, to watch. Right. My bad.
And one thing right after the other with it. And so it just, all of a sudden I decided I'm going to take a trip to Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Oh. Y'all can't hear it.
Let's see if she
My
sounds
bad.
familiar.
Sorry about that.
Tugging at the heartstrings. It's just been one thing right after the other with it. And so it just, all of a sudden I decided I'm going to take a trip to Hendersonville, Tennessee, and I'm going to go look for this child myself. And I took my daughter with me, which she thought I was really crazy at first when I just called her and said, hey, you want to go to Tennessee? So me, my mom, and her took off, and we met at the Rudder because that's where Seth was actually doing his searches from. But by the time we got there, we had missed his the rest of the day he had already finished up for the searches. So we decided that we would go ahead and go check in. We rode around a couple places, went to the house. When we did take a stroll by the house, all the lights were on, even the floodlights and stuff. They said that they don't never keep on and stuff. But we went by there and we drove around.
So I think right there, the fact that she drove by and said that the lights were on, I know there's like new rumors flying around that any video for all
barbecue place, and I had text thousands of flyers. Sure of it said that you would have the numbers to go search because they made you sign a.
She went to the Rudder.
And did what we needed to do to familiarize ourselves with certain areas. So the next day, me and my daughter decided to go out. We met at the Rudder. We signed the list to go search because they made you sign a sign-in sheet with your name and phone number, and you took a picture of it so that you would have the numbers to call to people if you found anything. And we handed out thousands of flyers, and we went out and it was near the house. And we got to this it was like a little barbecue place, and I had texted Chris on Messenger, and I asked him, I said, we are here now and we're trying to figure out what's the best place to search. Now, this is the day that they redid the searches and had the fire department as their command center. And he told us, he said, okay, he said, I can tell you where to go. He said, you need to go to Mary's Magical Place because that is where Sebastian liked to go. And he said,
what is Mary's Magical Place? Does anybody know without me?
All right, we figured out what Mary's Magical Place was. Let's look it up. Oh, Lord. Okay. I'm just going to let this play so I don't confuse you guys. Look at. Okay. Here I am, real life, live Jay. Okay. I'm going to mute and just fucking play it. Okay. I'm going to read the chat. I'll be stopping. I'll let you know, hey, it's me, but I'm not going to talk like dual Jays. It's too fucking confusing. And I don't feel like being confused. Magical Place. Oh, it's a playground. It's a playground in Hendersonville. It's called Mary's Magical Place. Oh, it's after Mary Elizabeth Macaulay, who passed away. After Mary's death in 2015 at 14. I wonder how she died. Can you guys see that? So have they not, did they not search there? I'm confused. This is the first I'm hearing of, this is weird because I've never heard of Mary's Magical Place. Like no one ever said, oh, Sebastian loved Mary's Magical Place. But now we're finding this out 3 months later. that he loved this park behind this roadhouse. Look at, there's Culver's. He knows how to get to Culver's. If he knows how to get to Culver's, could he get to Mary's Magical Place? You have to pay to go to a playground? Say what? People online were saying to look behind Texas Roadhouse. Weird. Shall we read the reviews? Warrior's Path will take you from Texas Roadhouse to Veterans Park, crossing over a bridge to Drake's Creek. Warrior's Path? Is that this? Continue this interview. Let's see where Clarksville is from their house. Morning, Olive. So, playground we've never heard of. Mary's Magical Place. Mental note. Miss Anonymous, you have friends in Clarksville. Maybe they are Miss Southern Tea. I don't know.
If he wanted to, he could walk there. And so we actually asked a cop while we were talking to him on the phone.
Hi, Trey.
We asked a cop to come up, and I asked him, I said, are we allowed to search? And he said, yes, just don't get in the way with all the other ones that was searching. I said, well, we're going to go some other places. Well, Chris told me, he said, it's okay. Tell him who you're on the phone with. And I said, okay. So I told the cop I was on the phone with Christopher Proudfoot. Cop was okay with it and everything. So he took us all directions down to Stop 30 Road. I mean, he directed us all to it by the phone. And he said that Sebastian would have walked that road. Well, being barefooted and walking that road, no, I don't see that happening, because I just, with the textures and what they were explaining about Sebastian, I don't think that he could have stood that road. That road was horrible when we were driving down it. And so we went down to the Mary's Magical Place, and we looked out there. We put out flyers. We went down on the creek beds, everything. We looked through there. And as I said, we talked to him several times. And I started talking to him probably on March 27th. And I had asked him just several things. I said, my heart breaks for y'all's family, and I can't imagine the hurt of a missing child. And I said, you said that you would answer all questions. And I watched the interviews and all the others that you and Katie have done. And I said, I'm confused, because in one interview, I think it said you were home on the 25th of February and left and went back to Memphis. And I said, is this correct? And he said, no, I got home the 26th, the day that Sebastian was missing, around 1 p.m. He said, I haven't been home since early February.
Okay, so that's the same thing he told Nancy Grace, remember? He got a little jumbled on it, but he did tell Nancy Grace, Chris Proudfoot, said that he hadn't been home until the day that Sebastian went missing.
And so we've been talking on and off. My daughter's like, no, we don't talk to him no more. But I can't, because I feel like he was starting to communicate with me. I felt like he was starting to trust me with things that he would talk to me about. And I just, at first I wouldn't believe in my opinion, that they were actually guilty of anything because of everything he was telling me. And I know certain people are, on the fence with each one of them and all that.
This is me, live. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? She didn't think they had anything to do with it. She didn't think they were guilty of anything.
I know certain people are, on the fence with each one of them and all that, but I can tell you this, me and my daughter didn't get a good opinion of Seth either, but I don't feel...
Oh, shit. She said that they didn't get a good feeling from any of them, but she also included Seth. Now, remember, this woman claims she met Grandma Rogers, Grandpa Rogers, Seth, Chris, and Katie, and she's spoken with them. Her name is Blue Eyes. I don't know her real name, but I think she's definitely telling the truth. This does not sound like bullshit to me. Good morning, Sin, my lovely. It's good to see you. Yeah, so why wasn't he home all month? Why wasn't he home until Sebastian went missing? Why was he only home that day? But he hadn't been there since early February, when we know that Nina filed emergency custody mid-January. Depositions were done mid to late January with Bower Sox people and Katie for that case. Then we have Chris not being home
the whole month of February, according to him, since early February, was that when an ultimatum was given. Like, I'm not going to be here. If he's here, I'm not, or maybe he wasn't supposed to because of CPS. But he wants us to believe that, he was not home until the 26th. And remember, excuse me, Heather, the PI, said there was trouble in paradise. I believe that was a quote, Diana. Good to see you, Diana. Trouble in paradise. And she said it started back in December. She said there was a lot of turmoil in Sebastian's life. So what if Chris got this emergency custody thing and said, that's it? I'm not going to not have my daughter. What if Chris doesn't know? What if Katie did this to save her marriage? There's so many theories. It's nuts. Yeah, it could be because of CPS for sure, for sure. But it's interesting. And he also said that he got there around 1 p.m.-ish to this woman.
I don't know what to say about Seth right now. I've gotten some weird vibes out of that since all this stuff has been coming out with him and Tony. But Chris was seeming to, talk more and all that stuff. And
hey, Robin,
I've heard so many horrific stories, and I can't imagine living this nightmare. And I asked him, I said, I just have a few questions. I said, because I'm really, there's something going on over here being said. There's this person over here saying this, and all people are saying just different things. And I said, was Sebastian's bed messed up when you guys checked in on him to wake him up that morning? And I said, do you think he might be close to your home or farther away from the home? Well, his reaction was, people need a villain for their narratives. It's easy to blame a step-parent because of statistics or the parent who last saw their child. And he says, I think he is farther away than we realize at this point. Anything is possible, honestly. And so that's when I'd asked him, this is when we was coming up there and all that. And I asked him about if there was any places that we could search. He told me to reach out to Sumner County EMA director. And so that's when it all got started. And we were already up there, and he is the one that thinks that Seth is trying to draw all the attention to him and make profits off of them, which I did ask him. I said, so how come y'all haven't started a GoFundMe or put up billboards, or been out there helping with things? He said, we have been searching. We do it on our own time. And he said, it's a little bit hard to do that when you got people threatening you all the time. He said, follow you around. So I said, the situation with you and Katie, I said, is there a divorce in the future? And he said, no, and that they wasn't selling their house. And he said, and Katie would not be speaking to anybody because she is not ready.
Okay. No, they're not selling their house, he said. And that Katie's not speaking to anyone because she's not ready. When are you going to be ready? That's the question. When your child, you wake up in the morning, right? Like every other weekday, you wake up, you go in your child's room to wake him up for school, say, hey, it's time to get up and get ready for school. And he's not there. When do you become ready to speak about it? Because I would have been ready from minute one. I would have been ready from minute one speaking about it to anybody who would fucking listen to me. Right? Put a 1 if you would wait 3 months or more to talk. I mean, I don't know at what point she asked him this question. So to be fair, I don't know when she asked him the question. But to say she's not ready, when will you ever be ready? When is someone ever ready for something like this? It's just a really weird way to put it. Melissa B says minus 1,000. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't sit right.
And I said, well, she needs to, because I said, this is why people are getting the assumptions that she's guilty of something.
Exactly.
I mean, if it was my child, I would be screaming to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And my babies were grown. And I'm like, I would not stop. I'd stay up 24/7, go hell and high water to find my children.
Mm-hmm.
And still to this day, even if they are grown, but they'll always be my babies.
Right.
And so he told me just to keep reaching out to her. Maybe she would change her mind. And, and I'd start the conversation with him on the next days and say.
So this is interesting as well. Chris is encouraging her to keep reaching out to Katie so that she will talk. Isn't that weird? So is Chris really controlling her? Or is she zipping it on her own free will? Is Katie playing everybody? Is she playing the meek, mild wife and mommy? But is she playing her own husband? She's not ready.
hey, I said, I was just seeing how y'all were doing. Is there been any new news? And he says, no, there's nothing been anything told to us. It's all the same stuff. And I think that it's weird that they are talking to law enforcement. Law enforcement's talking to them, but they're not giving nothing to Seth.
Okay, another good point. I've said this as well. Put a 1 in chat if you think Katie is running this show. Put a 2 if you think Chris is running the show.
I'm
1
here.
for Katie, 2 for Chris. 3 for both. Who's running the show here? 1
Revote.
Katie, 2 Chris, 3 both.
Revote. I want to see what you think.
Lots of 1s, more 1s than I thought. She's coy. She has a lot of, yes, she has military training. She's got military background. It is very mixed. A lot of you guys 1s and 3s, though. You think Chris might be just covering for her. It's 2, but they want it to look
listen
like
back.
1. Interesting,
Thank you,
obsessed mind.
Tilta-Whirl. Thank you, Tilta-Whirl. I think it's interesting to look back. You
Chris
know
and
what I
Katie
mean?
were not spending time together when Sebastian was there, but when he is missing, they are tighter than a frog's ass. Interesting, yep. She's smarter than we give her credit for, and she doesn't say much. She doesn't say much.
And I don't know if it's, you know, with my opinion, if it's because Seth has released a lot of stuff that probably shouldn't have been released. And I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's because they are the parents he was with, but I think that all parties should be involved, including Seth. That is his child too.
Right.
And he told me that Katie was going to be staying with him at first, you know, because I think they did the Nancy Grace, and she had even told them that she was going back with him to stay with him while he goes back to work because she wasn't working at the time and all that. And I asked him about the bus stop and all that in front of the house because I was curious, you know, does he ride the bus? And nobody's ever really said that I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, yes, he has one. It's directly in front of our house. Katie sometimes takes him, but don't usually. He usually rides the bus.
So did the bus stop there that morning? Did the bus come and stop at the driveway when there was all the cops and stuff? Miss Southern T says all 3 are involved and it got out of hand. TBI should give them a 1 chance pass to produce Sebastian with no consequences. But if they don't, or his body is found, everyone gets jail time. I don't think they should be pardoned to pointing out where he is. But if all 3 of them knew, don't you think someone would have cracked by now? Especially the one who's, like, if all 3 of them knew, Seth is supposedly not speaking to them. But we don't know if that's true. They could be talking all the fucking time. They could be talking all the time. And we have no idea. Or did Katie do something and call bio dad? Because she knows that Seth carries a torch for her.
Well,
think about that.
I would hope that my feelings have changed since June because we've learned a lot. And there's been a lot that has happened since June. So I'm open to all 3 being involved or knowing something. I'm not nailed down to one or the other. But if my mind didn't change from June, I'd be a fucking idiot. I'd be an idiot because we've learned so much. Think about that. What would Seth do for the love of Katie? Thinking that this is going to get them together. And then when it didn't, he's like, oh, fuck. Now I'm an accomplice. He's not bright. Well, did you see his interview last night? He's falling the fuck apart. He's falling apart.
And when he said that, it was just like, I said, how do you know that? You went on.
All right, let's keep going.
And he said, but if you're getting vibes off of this one channel that's saying that he went to the bus stop and took a right, that ain't true. Well, how do you know that? You went home. So you say. And I asked him, I said, do you honestly know or can say it in your heart that you don't know where Sebastian is? And he says, trust me, we want him home. We honestly don't know where he is. And when he said that, it was just like, okay, I got a weird feeling. And me and my daughter went backwards and forth every time about this. And, you know, and I said, I texted him that night, one night, on March 31st, I said, Chris, I was wondering about the clothes Sebastian had on when Katie and him left the Texas Roadhouse. I said, are those accounted for? And was he on medication? What kind? And was the meds that he needed every day? And I said, I hope your Easter has been good considering the situation. Well, he never would answer me. And so he didn't answer me back till April 2nd. And he said, we were hanging in there.
Okay, so this was around Easter time. There was a 5-minute interview with TikTok Tony, Seth, and Ashley Banfield last night. Two. Worse. Like, oh my gosh. Last time. Like, it was really noticeably different. And then, Tony has the audacity to show his face after that. Oh my gosh. But you guys can find that. It's on YouTube now.
And that's when the press conference was supposed to start. They were supposed to do, which they said that they didn't have any new information and all that, which he told me it would be played again.
I will get a screenshot of what he looked like. I'll be right back.
11. So I'm not from Tennessee. I'm actually from North Carolina. So he said, due to death threats, we're not currently meeting anyone unless they have been vetted by the LE. He said it's for safety reasons. And I don't know why he would just come out and say that, because he didn't offer to do that. So I don't know what he meant by that.
Well, obviously, we know now that they were being threatened, right? He wanted everybody to talk to LE first. Who could blame him? Now that we know what we know.
We're not currently meeting anyone unless they have been vetted by the LE. He said it's for safety reasons. And I don't know why he would just come out and say that, because he didn't offer to do that. So I don't know what he meant by that. And I said, are you and Katie going to be at the press conference? And he said, no, we're not. And I said, okay. So, and I asked him, I said, just seen the press conference. And they said they found glasses. I said, were they Sebastian's? And where did they find them? He said, we cannot speak on that. LE will not allow us, which we've all heard that over and over and over. I said, okay, I respect that. And I told him, I said, when we do find Sebastian and bring him home, I said, I would love to meet your son. And he said, he's my stepson. And he said, and I'll make sure that you get to meet him.
So he clarified he's my stepson to this woman.
And so I was like, okay. So I went on, and later that night, Chris asked him if there was any news. And I asked him again because I'd heard that they were selling their house. And he said, no, we are not selling the house. He said, that's funny, though. I was like, okay. And I said, I had just seen it. And he said, Sebastian's birthday is December 7th. I was like, okay. Just stuff out of the blue.
That's weird. Why would he randomly say, Sebastian's birthday is December 7th? What? And this lady's like, this shit's weird.
Son. And he said, he's my stepson. And he said, and I'll make sure that you get to meet him. And so I was like, okay. So I went on, and later that night, Chris asked him if there was any news. And I asked him again because I'd heard that they were selling their house. And he said, no, we are not selling the house. He said, that's funny, though. I was like, okay. And I said, I had just seen it. And he said, Sebastian's birthday is December 7th. I was like, okay. Just stuff out of the blue that I didn't really ask. And so I told him, I texted him the next morning. And I said, I hope y'all are doing okay. And I said, I hope that there's some positive information out there on the searches. And he said, thank you so much. Prayers we get some answers soon. And he said nothing was new. Later on that evening, he texted me and said nothing new was found and still no leads. Sorry to report. And I said, I hate to hear that. And he talked about Indian Lake while we was up there. And I'm not sure. He said it was like 8 miles from their house. And I don't know if anybody knows if that place has been searched. Do you know if that has?
I have no idea. I've never heard of Indian Lake. Has anybody? Oh, Smiley said yes. It's been searched, Smiley?
Smiley don't know. Oh, for God's sake.
We kept saying it was 8 miles from the house.
Okay, she knows about it, but she doesn't know if it's been searched.
Okay. Because that's one of the places he told us to go. And we had already went to another lake that we were sent on it was more of a wild goose chase than it was anything, because somebody thought it was Chris's truck parked up there, but it wasn't, because we even snuck up on the truck to get the tag number and all that stuff. So yeah.
Someone told them? What? Someone told them that Chris's truck was parked somewhere and they snuck up there to get the tag? But then she's talking to Chris? Oh, who are you, Blue Eyes? Blue Eyes, come forward.
I hope so.
Because I didn't know. We kept saying it was 8 miles from the house.
Okay, she knows about it, but she doesn't know if it's been searched.
Okay, because that's one of the places he told us to go. And we had already went to another lake that we were sent on it was more of a wild goose chase than it was anything, because somebody thought it was Chris's truck parked up there, but it wasn't, because we even snuck up on the truck to get the tag number and all that stuff. So yeah.
That's not funny.
I asked
Lolly.
him about, and I'm not sure if I'm saying it, Hermitage Hill. Is that right? Does that sound right?
Hill?
Yes.
I have no clue about that one.
Well, Smiley is in chat and she fills us in on all of this.
I don't either. And
look at the pinned comments. Seth spoke about Indian Lake, says this Rory Logs.
I don't know what it was, because somebody I think said that it was like a home for kids. I don't know.
Smiley,
what it is.
do you know about that one? Smiley's from.
I'm pretty sure they got married on. Wait, what? Wait, a home for kids?
I don't either. And I don't know what it was because somebody, I think, said that it was like a home for kids.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what
Smiley,
it is.
do you know about that one? Smiley's from.
I'm pretty sure they got married on Seth's birthday. I'm not even
pretty
picking
sure they
up
got
on this home for kids. Married on. They got married before. Okay. And he wanted to get himself a gun for his birthday. And he looked so. What?
Hermitage Hill?
Yeah, it's spelled Hermitage Hill. G-E Hill.
Hermitage Hill?
Yeah, it's spelled Hermitage Hill. So
she said it was like a home for kids.
A home for kids? Hermitage Hill? The fuck? No, I'm pretty sure. Nope, you know what? We're going to have to go look. Oh my God, no, Jay.
We got married June 21st.
The day after his birthday. Listen, here we go. This is it.
We got married the day after my birthday. We got married June 21st.
The day after his birthday. So today is Seth's birthday. Today is Seth's birthday. So listen.
So can you bring us back sort of to that day when it happened and so on, and just bring us up
We got married the day after my birthday. We got married June 21st, 2008. It was a very hot summer day. I remember our vehicle didn't have air conditioning. I didn't get to spend the night at my house, so I was oversleeping on a couch at a friend's house because can't be in the house with the bride the night before the wedding. Kind of take the risk. So yeah. And literally the stress of it all. I actually had a migraine the whole night, so it's not like I got to do anything fun or exciting. I was sitting there like,
Eeyore got married.
Water, I need ibuprofen, and I need my head.
The day that Eeyore got hitched.
Smashed in with a hammer.
What did you wear? Traditional tuxedo? Was it a cowboy wedding? What did you wear?
I wore it was a tuxedo. Well, no, it was a suit, brown suit. She was in a dress, beautiful dress. She was beautiful. I mean,
here we go.
Some of the comments that she made that, she was like, you've never.
Here he goes. Choked up.
Jen, let's move on.
Let's move on, Jen.
Okay, polka dot Tony. Yeah, he still loves her, so would he do anything for her? Would he do anything for her? Put a 1 if you think, if Katie called him right now and said, I need you, if he would be there with bells on. Put a 1 if you think, if Katie called him right now and said, Seth, I need you, if you think he would come a running. Put a 2 if you think he wouldn't. You think he'd say, F you.
I don't know. Okay. And then I asked him, because we were talking to a friend of ours, and she told us
What was it about the Hermitage Hill she's asking? Sorry.
That was one of the places that was named.
By Chris.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about it to her.
I don't know if there's just an area around it or if it was a significant place or not.
It was somewhere to be searched.
Yes. But I told him, I asked him, is there, I asked him about if there were any abandoned basements or anything like buildings that might have been torn down around their area since they're doing a lot of construction there. And he said no, and that there was no businesses around there that had basements, because I was thinking, well, if he did go off on his own and it was dark and all he had was his little flashlight, we don't know how long that was going to hold up or whatever, and maybe he fell down in it and got hurt and just couldn't get back out of it. So, and nobody would have hurt him if it was out there. And he says that there's no business around there and he said they don't have basements. And he said, I really want to tell you thank you so much for all your help in spreading flyers as well. My wife and I are so grateful for all your help you and your daughter have done to help us. And
okay, so he's thanking them for doing what they're doing.
When we got ready to leave, we went to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. We went by and seen Seth first. We met his mom and his dad and talked to him, that I wanted to get more flyers because we were going to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. So
Bing bong, Danny.
We went down there and we handed out flyers everywhere. And so next thing you know, there's this guy come up to me and my daughter and said, hey, there is a guy that fits the description of this flyer. And he's down here at this one little cookie candy shop. So we take off running down there.
You hear this? There was a sighting at some candy shop. Wait, what? So what? Wait. So this girl goes to Gatlinburg, and there happens to be a sighting. Come on. So who knew they were going to Gatlinburg? Listen to this.
Poor little dude. He looked just like him, but maybe a little bit on the heavier side. Candy shop. So we take off running down there.
You hear this? There was a sighting at some candy shop.
And this poor little dude, he looked just like him, but maybe a little bit on the heavier side. And his manager was like, dude, you really do look like him. But his name was Bobby.
So it was a false sighting, which we never heard about. Hey, Ish. The motorcycle group? Yeah, I don't know. That would probably be a question for a local. Has he ever moved on from Katie, says Stephanie. I don't think so. Because he said, I never had a girlfriend after getting divorced from Katie. Yes. Hey, Cinnamon Hot. I thought the Coffin Ladies interview was so weird. It was. They had like a 10-minute discussion about socks. It was weird. It was weird. Remember
Chunky
that, guys?
Soul
says the thing is, Seth couldn't provide for Katie properly. Chris can. He makes a good living. She's still, anybody who said I wasn't fair back then, this is Live Jay, by the way. This was in June, and I think I was pretty damn fair. Okay? She probably doesn't have to work, but she does. He makes probably really good money running that crane. Bikers don't hurt or help people that hurt kids. But you notice Tony called them a biker gang. That didn't make them sound very positive or good. Why would he want to put that kind of portrayal out there?
And it wasn't him. We got our hopes up, but we handed out tons of flyers before we left and all that and come back home. And I've just been keeping up with it ever since. And so as long as since we've been back, I've still been talking to him. And
Is it one Jennifer or two Jennifers?
his stepdad, even I mentioned, I had actually posted on a group, and he was telling me Terry Bowersox had senior posted on there, said that he hoped that I didn't get caught up in all the drama and was listening and know that Chris and Katie were innocent and all.
Wow. So Terry Bowersox. What did he message her or comment? Hang on.
Chris and Katie were innocent and all that.
Did she say it was a post or a message?
Group, and he was telling me Terry Bowersox had senior posted on there, said that he hoped that I didn't get caught up in all the drama.
He posted publicly, but you're going to hear this. None of the Bowersox would talk to her. Interesting.
And was listening and know that Chris and Katie were innocent and all that. And I didn't respond, but I have messaged them on Messenger trying to get them to talk to me, but none of them will.
Weird. Oh, she does kind of sound like weird. He would She kind of sounds like that Tracy, doesn't she? She kind of sounds like Tracy. Post to her. I hope you're not caught. Terry's son, his
cat.com, familysearch.com.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. I mean, sister, Kathy, you name it, I've messaged them. I spent all day on ancestry.com, familysearch.com, looking all his people up, and it's amazing all the stuff I have found.
Let me read this to you real quick. First of all, Smiley said that Hermitage Hills is a neighborhood.
Okay.
And Miss Kathy Gordon said, Blue Eyes Jewel, I appreciate you and your daughter coming to Tennessee and searching and handing out flyers and everything else you have done to help Sebastian.
You're welcome. And I will not stop helping. And if I could, I would come back up here in a heartbeat. And I was asking him about different people, and he was telling me, because he was fussing about different YouTubers and stuff like that, putting out, crazy stuff and all that. And I asked him about the flashlight. And I said, what color was Sebastian's flashlight that was said it was gone? And he said, it's a small yellow one. And I asked him about the deal. I said, sorry for the questions, but I said, did Sebastian wear pull-ups or boxers at your house? And he said, both. And he said that Seth always tells everybody that he always come to his house with pull-ups on. And I was like, okay. I was just making sure, because, in case we, when anybody's out there searching, they see a pull-up, or, if that was an everyday thing. And he said, no. He said, mainly, he said he would be in boxers at his house. And I had asked him that on the phone, too, when we was up there. So I felt like because I know Seth said that he was in pull-ups and he went to school in pull-ups. I've heard things that people have, said about how they make fun of him and stuff about the pull-ups and all that. And I really feel like this child has been let down so much. And I asked Chris a lot of questions. I sent him a whole big message and I said, I'm going to ask you a few questions. I said, if you don't want to tell me, just tell me it's none of my business and we'll go on. And I said, is it true that you don't want Sebastian near your daughter Faith? And if so, can you tell me why? And he told me to go ahead and list them out. He said, just go ahead and list all your questions and I'll go back and talk to you about it. And I said, and is it true what happened to Sebastian with the SA? And did he get help from that? And I really feel that shouldn't have been told about. When we talked on the phone, when my daughter and I came to Tennessee and you were telling us where to search.
Hold up. True crime and other stuff. You just made something pop into my head.
Oh, true crime.
What if that's why they don't want a reward? Let's expand this a little bit. Made me think. And that screenshot, by the way, is Seth from that interview last night. He looks terrible. And I'm not saying anything that he shouldn't look terrible. I'm just making an observation. With the ruckus video and the flashlights at the same time makes me wonder if there's more people involved. And if so, maybe someone will crack. And what would make someone crack? Money is one thing. Money is one thing. Is that why there's no reward? Is that why they decided early on we're not going to raise money? And that's when the whole thing went awry. When Seth started raising money and they didn't. Because if you have a reward, you might have some scrub who, helped. See? Come forward. I said this back in fucking June. This is me in June. This is me now. See me pasty white down here? Pasty ass white. Hello. Up there, that's a replay from June. Okay? So that is a live that I'm playing from June. Money. Oh, fuck me. I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Went awry when Seth started raising money and they didn't. Because if you have a reward, you might have some scrub who, helped come forward for some money. How much money? I don't know. When you have multiple people involved in something, money does talk. No reward. I mean, we heard Seth say, oh, well, my attorney's trying to get a reward set up. It's been over 3 months. It's been 115 days. It's not that hard to set up a reward fund. But then if that was the case, if LE was going to try to get someone to turn on someone else, don't you think LE would coordinate with Crime Stoppers and get a reward out there? So you could look at it both ways. If LE wanted someone to rat on the other, you'd think LE would coordinate a reward. Oh, and then they did. I said it in June, and then they did it in August. Maybe they know no one else is going to know where Sebastian is. Right. Maybe only one person knows exactly where he is. Maybe there's several people that may know what happened, but not where he is. Good morning, Jess. I'm out. Oh, listen to this. They don't get paid out, but it's a good way to lure in people, especially if you had a shitbag do something for you. It's a good way to pull them out. I don't know. Just a thought. There could be a lot of stuff going on here. It's just so weird.
What was the name of the road that had the ungodly places in the road? We went down it, and what was the name of the park? I know Mary something, but there is also the Veterans Park there. Is there another park there as well near it? And I said, I had already asked you if he wore boxers or pull-ups because I know it was said that he wore pull-ups all the time with you and Katie. And I remember you saying that he probably had boxers on, if I recall correctly. And the lie detector test, have you and Katie both taken one? I have heard so much about your parents going to Alaska, and everyone is speculating that they took Sebastian to Alaska and left him with people there. And it talks about Katie not talking to anyone and that she holds the answers to what happened to Sebastian, that she colored her hair and they were saying she sold her car and a house going up for sale and that she will probably cut it short and then you and her will run. And I said, what do you have to say about that? And why did you and Katie go to Mississippi and not back to Memphis? Do you know where he is? And I know you told me that day on the phone that you felt like he walked out and someone picked him up. What makes you think that? I said, I also have heard so much about Katie did something to him and you covered it up due to an ultimatum. I said, I believe everyone is innocent till proven guilty. And it's like no one wants to hear what you and Katie has to say, but I do. Like I said, there is two sides to every story. And I hope Sebastian is found safe and sound. And I hope that whoever is involved with this disappearance is punished to the fullest. So my daughter and I have put our hearts and soul into this. And I'm so wishing I could come back up there and help search for him. And we have been, you know, I told him, I said, we have put on Facebook and we're willing to send out flyers to anybody that needs them. All they have to do is contact me, which I did get private messages, which I did go and mail out bunches of flyers to different people in different states. And I said, and the last thing I'm going to ask is whose idea was it for Sebastian to go live with Seth?
Okay, wait, so she's, I have her on 1.5. Wait. She said that she mailed out bunches of flyers. Who else said that? Who said their sister was mailing out flyers? Why would this lady, out of her own pocket, mail out flyers? Back it up, Terry Lynn. Hold on. We just watched that clip the other day, too. Where, Seth said, okay, wait. It was on T-Rev. He said his sister was sending out flyers. Remember, and we were talking about how expensive the reams of flyers are. Do you guys remember that? It was T-Revs when he was outside. Oh, here it is. I found it. Watch this.
Yeah.
Tony get so why isn't Tony getting the websites updated? Merge says
There's nothing to do with the Facebook page.
it's not happy. It's taking
That's a
advantage.
different person that I communicate, and I have working on that one.
What's the Facebook page that you're referring to when you say this Facebook page?
There's a Facebook page that was put up. I can get the. I don't have Facebook, so I'm not on there. But I have access to the email address that's on there.
Do you guys remember this now?
Okay.
So when people send emails to that, I have access to that.
I wanted to ask you this, man, because listen. Reward. I know money. You know, people talk about this money shit, and it's like BS. But a reward, I feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, I feel like a reward out there, if somebody does have information, they might come up off of that.
Jennifer Jennings.
And that's that attorney. Now people want to donate using, electronics and stuff. And that attorney Lewis only will accept checks made to him, delivered to him in person so he can write receipts. I'm still working with my attorney. We were trying to put up a trust, and then the bank turned around and was like, well, you have to have, not only do you have to have the paperwork for the trust, but you also have to have a trust foundation to be over the trust. So my attorney.
Bing bong. Bing fucking bong.
Bing bong.
Rogers Homestead of Family Values. Listen again.
And that's that attorney. Now people want to donate using, electronics and stuff. And that attorney Lewis only will accept checks made to him, delivered to him in person so he can write receipts. I'm still working with my attorney. We were trying to put up a trust. And then the bank turned around and was like, well, you have to have, not only do you have to have the paperwork for the trust, but you also have to have a trust foundation to be over the trust. So my attorney is looking into that. She doesn't know everything, but she's looking into it. And until I get it up, I'm not going to have people sitting there and donating to it. I feel like ran by the attorney. It won't be ran by me or anybody else. It'll be ran by the attorney.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
And someone finds my son, that will be the reward will be handed out through the trust, but it will be up to the law enforcement. It has nothing to do. It will have nothing to do with me except for I'm trying to get it set up so it's 100% legit. So there's no
Yeah.
questions or anything else. Also,
And
I'd like to address that page that I put out. That one right there that you just put up. That
yeah.
right there, he still. It can be mailed or dropped off,
Okay.
and he doesn't take cash. It's only checks. He doesn't do any type of electronic transfer or any of that sort of stuff. So a lot of people, I haven't even pushed it because I can't even get a hold of that gentleman.
Up on that. So there's promissory notes. So I read that last night. There's promissory notes from people in the area. I know tons of people that want to put into this reward. So they have to mail in a check or what else to this exact address. Still to this day, you could mail that into them.
Yeah, that's that attorney's address. I haven't even pushed it because I can't even get a hold of that gentleman. Until I get it up, I'm not going to have people sitting there and donating to it.
To mail in a check or what else to this exact address. Still to this day, you could mail that into them.
Yeah, that's that attorney's address.
okay. It wasn't the one about the flyers, but holy shiz. Yeah, Jennifer Jennings is the psychic chick. Jennifer Jennings does the here's the link to that video too. That's not the one I was looking for, but damn.
That's that attorney. Now people want to donate using,
Hang on, I want to play that again.
electronics and stuff, and that attorney Lewis only will accept checks made to him, delivered to him in person so he can write receipts. I'm still working with my attorney. We were trying to put up a trust, and then the bank turned around and was like, well, you have to have, not only do you have to have the paperwork for the trust, but you also have to have a trust foundation to be over the trust. So my attorney is looking into that. She doesn't know everything, but she's looking into it. And until I get it up, I'm not going to have people sitting there and donating to it.
I feel like
ran by the attorney. It won't be ran by me or anybody else. It'll be ran by the attorney.
Yeah.
And someone finds my son, that will be the reward will be handed out through the trust, but it will be up to the law enforcement. It has nothing to do. It will have nothing to do with me except for I'm trying to get it set up so it's 100% legit. So there's no questions or anything else. Also, I'd like to address that page that I put out. That one right there that you just put up. That right there, he's still.
I put scam. I don't know what date this was with T-Rev, though. May 27th. I made this video May 27th. He made the Rogers Homestead of Family Values. What was it, Clue? May 9th? You think that YouTube thing was from that location? This here? Hold on, guys. I don't think so. There's like a freshly cut down tree right here. See it? See that tree stump? Someone just had a bunch of trees cut down right there. I don't think it's the same place, guys. I mean, it definitely looks weird. I mean, I will give you that.
Until I get it up, I'm not gonna have people sitting there and donate.
To this day, you could mail that into them. Page.
There's a Facebook working on that one.
What's the Facebook page that you're
ferns?
referring to when you say this Facebook page?
There's a Facebook page that was put up.
Money shit, and it's like BS, but a reward. I feel like, and this is just my
Yeah, I think that looks more like Michaela's. I don't think it's the same spot.
Of flyers to different people in different states. And I said, and the last thing I'm going to ask is whose idea was it for Sebastian to go live with Seth?
Okay, so she's I have her on 1.5 speed. Whoever said she's reading. If I had this on regular speed, I'll play it for you. She's not, I don't think she's reading. I don't think so.
And I said, and I know when you have a divorce, when there is children involved, that is always something, and not every parent does the same thing for punishment and chores and how they let their children live. I know firsthand that it is always something different. I
mean, I'm not saying that she doesn't have notes, because you'd have to. Like, I don't expect her to remember every syllable of her. Reading it verbatim, Blue Eye, she is. Smiley knows who she is because Smiley's in chat. These people obviously know who she is. Smiley knows who she is because Smiley's in chat. So, Smiley knows who she is. Smiley. Maybe she knows. I don't know. All I know is her name is Jules Blues. I don't know. Blue Eyes.
Say thank you for
Miss Blue Eyes.
Letting me ask these questions and letting us talk to you last week. Also, please tell Katie I would love to talk to her. There will be no judgment. I just want her baby to be found safe and sound, and it breaks my heart for him. And it's really messed up how everyone is speculating things and how all the misinformation is going around. And I said, I hope you have a good evening, and thanks again. And he said, thank you so much. And the only reason I asked was I want yours and Katie's side, and that's what I told him. And he said, our side is too long to talk out, and Ellie has asked us not to talk about it right now. So it's just like I got that every time I asked him something, which everybody has, I think.
Yeah, that's
And
his go-to when he doesn't want to answer.
Total go-to.
And it's weird because he comes back on April the 7th at 10:24 p.m. and he says, have you and your daughter posted anything on Facebook about your talks or your searches? And I called him and I asked him, I said, what are you talking about? And he says, well, I was just wondering, it wasn't no big deal. And he says, he told me that night, he said, I got to go, Ellie is calling me. I said, okay. He said, I will call you back tomorrow is what he messaged me. And so he called me on April the 8th. It was just different things. And he said that he could not tell me the reason why he didn't want Sebastian around Faith, and that Seth should have never put those, that information out. And
I agree with that.
Yes, and I did too, because that's just something. If Sebastian is alive and out there somewhere, or somebody is holding him or something, then he don't need to hear that. I mean,
right.
I don't really think that he knows what the deal is.
Yeah.
Then it's like I got another text at 11:29. He says, I will give you a call later on. Sorry to call you back. He said we was dealing with law enforcement, and it's always when he gets a phone call while he's trying to call me or something like that. It's like it's always Ellie calling. Like he's making excuses to get off the phone, or I start questioning him. He don't answer because he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's.
And it was just really weird.
Remember, he did that in one of his interviews. He's like, "This is my daughter. I got."
Reached out and asked for information, the details of what was shown to me, as people have asked. Roadhouse are accounted for. I rode around with Ellie one day and they showed me some stuff. I will not provide the details of what was shown to me, as people have asked. The phone call was with a search group called Narc Divers. They reached out and asked for information. What I provided to them is information that has been released already. I provided EMA director's point of contact to them, and they took it from there. They recorded the conversation and posted it on YouTube as if it's some big thing. I had talked to Ellie before them and told them what I was going to say, and they were good with it. Anything Trey from the Narc Divers is saying is stuff that Ellie has already. Personally, they are wasting their time looking within 5 miles of my house, according to Ellie. And
he says they're wasting their time looking within 5 miles of their house, according to LE. That's what she said, Chris said. Wait a minute.
He said, I think after people sees this, he said, trust me, when the truth comes out, it's going to be amazing. Seeing how
when the truth comes out, it's going to be amazing. Wait. Let's go back to this last part. Why? This is words. First, kiss my southern sass. Thank you for subscribing.
And ask for information. What I provided to them is information that has been released already. I provided EMA director's point of contact to them. And
okay, so he did give him the number of the emergency management director. But he also told Narc Divers, Trey, that pond at the time was knee deep or whatever.
As if it's some big thing. I had talked to Ellie before them and told them what I was going to say, and they were good with it. Anything Trey from the Narc Divers is saying is stuff that Ellie has already. Personally, they are wasting their time looking within 5 miles of my house, according to Ellie. And the more he said, I think after people sees this, he said, trust me, when the truth comes out, it's going to be amazing. Seeing how many people have to eat crow and look like the biggest pieces of garbage. True crime
Eat crow. Is he talking about all of us who thought that he's done something? It's going to be amazing. Okay, so it's not going to be amazing for Sebastian, I don't think. I don't think he's talking about Sebastian. I think he's talking about himself. It's going to be amazing because I'm not going to be guilty. It's not amazing because they're going to find him alive or anything like that. I don't think. I think this guy's talking about himself.
On YouTube to probably shut down their shows. LOL. Okay. And I think he was talking about JR, about how he's stalking people and stuff. He said, I'm sure there's something that can be done, but that will have to be handled in court, which technically, I mean, I don't know that he wants to mess with JR about that.
Right.
And I said, there's an online visual going for Sebastian that started last night at 7 your time and still going strong. That was the one he did online. He said, where is this at? And I said, online. He said, well, I won't be posting. And I asked him about the deal, why they don't go to vigils. He said, vigils is for when somebody dies. He said, we don't do vigils.
Oh, shit. Vigils are when somebody dies. Now, you can take that as, oh, they have faith that Sebastian's alive and they're holding on to hope. Or you can take that as, if they view it that way, they don't want to acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm. You're right, Jay. You're right, Judy.
You think
Jay.
so, Michael? Michael thinks he looks intoxicated. I didn't hear him slurring, though, like he normally does, which was weird. Because I've heard him look better, or I've seen him look better, rather, Seth, and sound worse, if that makes sense.
About how he's stalking people and stuff. He said,
Miranda thriving? Wait, Miranda. Dude, Sebastian is alive, well, and thriving? Thriving away from his family? Huh? I get saying he's alive, but thriving? Without his medication, without his mom? What? Is without his dogs? She's reading text between her and Chris. Yes.
I'm sure there's something that can be done, but that will have to be handled in court, which technically, I mean, I don't know that he wants to mess with JR about that.
Exactly,
Right?
Darcy. Exactly.
And I said, there's an online visual going for Sebastian that started last night at 7 your time and still going strong. That was the one he did online. He said, where is this at? And I said, online. He said, well, I won't be posting. And I asked him about the deal, why they don't go to vigils. He said, vigils is for when somebody dies. He said, we don't do vigils.
We don't do vigils. So if someone died, you wouldn't do a vigil, even when people die? Like, that doesn't make...
Yeah, you're good. She's been talking to him for quite a while, guys.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
And yeah, Robin, Miss Janice, no, Sebastian did not walk out.
No, I don't think he did.
And little Miss Sharon.
And he was talking about
How do
TikTok.
they
He
know?
said, they don't do TikTok. They don't do Facebook. And I said, well, that's funny because that's how I'm contacting you. We're talking on Facebook. We're in Messenger.
I love that.
You know. So yeah, you're on Facebook. And I said,
Yeah.
and I do believe that, you know, you do the YouTube thing too. And I asked him, I said, how are y'all doing today? And he said, she's doing better than I am today. And I said, what do you mean? He says, I'm just over everyone's BS and negativity from everyone. I'm at the point that I am ready to physically go after some folks, but I am going to handle things in a much better way. I was like, okay.
Ooh, he was starting to lose it. He said, I'm getting ready to go physically after some people.
So I didn't talk to him no more till the next day.
Now we know about, all the people. Miranda, do you care to expand on that comment, though? Alive, well, and thriving? I just have to disagree with the thriving. Like,
Because I wasn't going to push it because
are you just wishful thinking, or do you know something that we should all know?
I was just like, okay, if he's in the, want to go after
Ticking
people.
time bomb.
And, different days I've asked him, hey, how's you and Katie? Any information? No, we're hanging in there, literally. I said, have you left the campground? He said, no, the camper's still there. People are just out there stirring up what they can.
He said they're hanging in there literally. Literally. Yeah, Summer Wells had vigils every week. Yep, they sure did. And they sure followed that case, didn't they, Potato? They sure followed the Summer Wells case.
Yeah. And he said it does, but I think they are learning that we aren't the average person that will run from them. And I said, well,
Oops.
I said, I hope that you have a better day, and I'm hoping that Sebastian is brought home safe. He said, thank you, man, better today. Hopefully we will be feeling much better sooner than later. And he's unsent several messages since then. And
Unsent.
I had asked him, I said, this is what got me. He said, I said, good morning, Chris. I said, can I ask a question again? And I said, it was you that told me that his clothes was accounted for the night that he went missing. I said, or the clothes he had on at Texas Roadhouse. I said, what color shirt and pants did he have on at Texas Roadhouse? I said, I think people are getting that confused. He said, I cannot answer that question.
What?
And I said, why is that? And he says, well, first I wasn't there. And he said, and second, there was, he said, Ellie has those clothes. I was like, okay.
Okay, but why can't you say what they look accounted for? Just like how in the beginning talking about.
Familiar with Tennessee. I was wanting to know, is there a place called Kent something? Because I've been hearing Kent. He said there's Kent State University. No new leads of now. He said, but I've got to take care of some things. And I said, okay. So that was it. And he texted me and told me no news other than gossip the next morning. And he sent me the video, the short clip of Katie doing the Reels video. And he sent me that. And he said that she did a great job and that he was proud of her. And he said, I'm going to say this case has become so out of hand. And I said, yes, it has. And I said, well, let me just put it to you this. I said, yes, the case has become so out of hand. All that he said and she said, it annoys me, and they are forgetting what is happening right now. Everyone needs to get off of the finger pointing and focus on what is being done. Like, how are they helping find Sebastian by doing all the, going backwards and forth at people? And I said, everybody speculates, but we're all human. Like you told us, we have our opinions. And I said, some may be hurtful and some may not. But I said, our main concern is trying to find out where Sebastian is. Is he safe? Is he alive? Is he somewhere that we can bring him back home? And I said, that's all I want to help do. And he said, yeah. He said, that's one of my theories and my wife's favorite video of him being safe, because I was talking about the green tea video where he holds up the green cup and the tea. And every time I look at that video, it makes me want to cry.
Same.
And he said, if Seth would close his mouth and his mother stayed out of it, things I feel wouldn't be as bad. And I was like, well, I'm not going to get in on that. Right. And that's when he told me again. He says, I want to say thank you, ma'am. Trust me, when he does come home, I am sure we can arrange for you and him to meet. And there's just different things that he, I'm hoping that he does come home, and I'm going to hold him to it because I want to meet that baby if he does.
Right.
And then it was like, I got to talk. I mean, like I said, I felt like I had gotten a relationship with him going as to be able to talk to him. Then it amazed me because one night when we talked, Katie was there. And this was right before the picture came out of the supposable spotting of Sebastian at Grandfather Mountain.
Miranda, I'm not against you with that. I think there was a lot of turmoil in Sebastian's life. I think there was a lot going on. And I'm with you, Miranda, but I don't think that he's thriving somewhere.
And so.
All right. So this is a crazy story. She lives like 20 minutes away from that sighting. Thank you, Miss Odin. Thank you for being here. She's 20 minutes away from that sighting. So she goes there, and her account of going there is freaking weird. Here we go. Yeah. It's really weird. This is where she goes to the mountain.
I asked him which roadhouse it was because I wasn't familiar with things up there. And I know when I looked online that there was more than one Texas Roadhouse showing on the map, and one had closed down, and one was actually the one that they went to, which is now the only one open, I think.
Yes, North Carolina.
And see, the reason why I asked, because when he said search the Indian Lake area, that's where he said the Texas Roadhouse was Indian Lake. So I got to wondering about that. So that's why I asked if it had been searched or not, because Texas Roadhouse, Indian Lake, and there he tells me to search Indian Lake. And I asked him, I said, could there have been anybody following her? And he said nobody was following. And so then we got to talking about Katie's information about her side of the family, and we won't go in that because everybody knows that situation. And
he said nobody was following.
I asked him, I told him, I texted him that morning because I woke up. That's the first thing I do is I wake up and check my phone, see if they found anything, if there's any new news or, things like that. And
yeah, I think we all do that.
Yeah. So I go to sleep watching this stuff, and and it's something. And I think there was somebody was there somebody by the name of Mark?
Mark?
Yes.
I don't remember a Mark. Does anybody remember a name Mark?
I don't know. I don't know who that was.
I don't know. I've not heard the Mark name before.
Okay. And I did write a letter to Katie. I sent it to her house, and she never responded, but she did tell Chris that she got my letter. There was a vigil at the school, and I asked him, I said, did you attend? We didn't attend, but I did come to talk to Seth. And I said, well, that's good that you did. I said, hopefully you can all put things behind and find where that precious boy is. And he said, that is the plan. We can deal with the indifferences later. And so I guess, that's when we found out that they wouldn't want to work together, was after that.
Right.
He says, I said, I'm not trying to be nosy. I said, I just told you from the beginning, a lot of stuff was said. And I said, I'm putting this out to you too, that I think everyone's innocent until proven guilty. And I said, and I'm not going to try to make him out looking like the bad guy and all this. And he said, let them, law enforcement knows the truth, and so do we. And he said, if everyone wants to drink the Kool-Aid, let them. And I said, okay. And he said, I'm putting this out to you too, that I think everyone's innocent until proven guilty. And I said, and I'm not going to try to make him out looking like the bad guy and all this. And he said, let them, law enforcement knows the truth, and so do we. And he said, if everyone wants to drink the Kool-Aid, let them. And I said, okay. And he keeps telling me every morning, if he'll text me or I'll text him, have you heard anything? Still no leads. We're hanging in there. And I think this is where I told y'all, I said, can I ask if you and Katie are doing a prayer vigil at the church? Because there was something going around on Facebook that they thought that Kristen was doing one.
Okay, I'll slow her down just a little bit if it's too fast for you guys. I have her sped up. Who's Mark? Sorry, I was getting something to drink, but who's Mark? I've never heard of a Mark in this case. First time I ever heard that. CEU? Yeah, she.
And normally vigils are reserved for those who have passed.
What? refuse to believe that Sebastian passed on.
With the crazy ass people trying to go there and start some stuff. I am back working and Katie travels with me, so she isn't alone in the house with crazy ass people trying to go there and start some stuff.
Why can't she have Mama Bowersocks come? A reason? I know.
Passed. We refuse to believe Sebastian has passed on. And then,
can you say that last part again?
Oh yeah, he said, I was talking about the vigil that was supposedly going to be at the church. Just scroll up, hang on. And I said, are you and Katie doing a prayer vigil at the church? He said, we have not done anything as far as a vigil goes. I am back working and Katie travels with me, so she isn't alone in the house with the crazy ass people trying to go there and start some stuff. Normally vigils are reserved for those who have passed. We refuse to believe Sebastian has passed on.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. You faded out for a minute.
No, she didn't.
So what part did you hear?
Him and Katie were not doing the vigil. And
I'm
then
just throwing stuff out there.
Robot-y, and then you faded out.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Okay. Okay. He says, we have not done anything as far as a vigil goes. I am back working. Katie travels with me, so she isn't alone in the house with the crazy ass people trying to go there and start some stuff. Normally, vigils are reserved for those who have passed. We refuse to believe Sebastian has passed on.
Okay.
And he said, and the thing that bothers me the most is these people, the only way people will truly understand this is for them to be in our shoes. And I don't wish this on anyone for that matter, really. So then the picture comes out of the possible sighting in Grandfather Mountain. I'm 20 minutes from there.
Here we go.
So I get my mom. I said, get up, we're going to Grandfather Mountain today. Katie was crying on the phone with me and Chris on the phone. And she's like, that looks so much like my baby. Please.
You hear this? Katie was crying on the phone. That looks so much like my baby.
Please go up there and check. Well, this was the day after. And I said, I will go up there and see what I can find out.
So she thought that looked so much like her baby that she's waiting till the next day to tell some random stranger to please go there. Bullshit. Right there, that's bullshit. Yeah. Even Don Wells thinks so. Come on. If you were that adamant that you said enough to say, oh my gosh, that looks like my baby, you wouldn't be able to wait 24 hours.
Do we believe this?
If you haven't watched, do we believe this story? Watched her yet? When we're done here, she goes over the News Nation and
a little bit more, and she was telling me that Sebastian's breastbone sticks out a little bit more because it's growing outwards instead of where it needs to be. So she said you would be able to tell if it was him. Which, I mean, he wasn't. The same little boy wasn't there. I mean, they wouldn't know way they were going to be there the same day. But we went up there and I took flyers. We paid $50 to get in for me and my mom.
This lady paid $50 to get in and go check for Katie the next day. How long have the Proudfoots been married? I think since 2017, if I'm guessing, 2017-ish. Don't quote me on that because I don't know for sure. Linda doesn't think Katie stays there because of what happened there.
The guy at the ticket stand, he gave us our receipt and I gave him a flyer and he said that he would pass it along and see if they could post them at the entrances. So we got up there and we went to where Sebastian or the little boy would have been standing, and we got out and I recreated everything where he would have been standing and all that. So we went into the Wilderness Center right there and I asked the lady there, I said, were you working yet Saturday? And she said, no, why, what is this concern? And I was telling her, I said, I was trying to see if you seen the little boy that was supposed to have been, that looks like Sebastian Rogers, like the little boy that was missing. I showed her a flyer. Well, she gets on the phone and she calls somebody and she said, you'll wait right here. I've got somebody coming up.
We don't, Crafty.
Hang on
He
a
comes
second.
in.
Hang on. If you're listening, pay close attention to this next part because it's absolutely crazy what happens to her.
This is weird.
Okay. All right. So this guy comes in and he says, can I help you? And I said, yes. I said,
this is not UA. Okay. I'm going to put her on regular speed.
wanting to find out information about, the little boy that was up here on Saturday that everybody is thinking that it's Sebastian Rogers. And I showed him the flyer and he tells me, you can come down to the office and we can talk there. And I said, well, why can't we just talk here? And he said, no, we'd have to go to the office. So I follow him back down and I go into the office. I'm led to a conference room. There is a lady sitting to the left of me. The guy that come up to get me at the main top of the mountain was in front of me, and another guy.
So this is the next day. She's inquiring about this photo, and they take her ass back to a conference room where there's several people waiting. Was this a setup?
What the fuck? What is that? They were already in place. Yeah, I think their divorce took a while, though. I don't know when it was final. It was definitely filed in 2016, but I don't know when it was final. Hey, Gustavig, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. It's just joy for being here, folks.
I showed them pictures where I had been up there searching the whole sheet, and I got interrogated like I had just committed the worst crime that you had ever thought. I just told him, he asked me what my relationship was to him. I said, I'm just a concerned person being up there to look for him. I said, I know that there is, supposedly a sighting up here. We don't know if it was him and all this, but I mean, they questioned me about everything about him, why I was up there and just everything. And he said, this stuff will be turned over to law enforcement. I said, go ahead, because I have nothing to hide. I didn't do anything. I'm just here as a good Samaritan trying to find this little boy. Finally got out of an interrogation room. And I mean, this lady was writing down everything I said in there. And, like I said, they took copies of my license and stuff like that. I had to give them phone numbers.
Okay, but she doesn't say, and what I would have asked her, because if they gave her, business cards, I would have said, did you ask who they were? Did they give you a business card? Because I'll be damned if I'm going to walk into some wilderness center at a park that I just paid $50 to get into and be called back in some office just because I'm asking about a social media post of a kid that was seen there the day before and not ask who they are before I start giving my license and stuff. So I would have to assume this lady knows exactly who she was talking to.
If it happened.
Because you'd ask. You would definitely ask.
You're good, Miranda.
But she's not saying who it is. It could have been FBI. Yeah, absolutely it could have been. It's another state. Pictures of where who you are. Got back.
Anything that they wanted, I gave them.
Anything
like I said,
they
I don't have
wanted.
nothing to hide, and that's exactly what I told them.
See, I don't have nothing to hide for people to come there. And who wouldn't? Were they wondering who would come there? And who wouldn't? And why? But she says, I gave them anything they wanted. That's what you do when Ellie's questioning you. You say, I don't have nothing to do with this.
But Chris told me the whole time it wasn't him. Katie said yes. And so I come back and I called. Shocked me. But Chris told me the whole time it wasn't him. Katie said yes. And so I come back and I called. I called him back and I told him, I said, look, I just got interrogated by the people at Grandfather Mountain. And I said that.
She said interrogated, y'all. Y'all, she just said interrogated. She told Chris, because she wasn't happy at Grandfather Mountain. Yikes.
But Chris told me the whole time it wasn't him. Katie said yes. And so I come back and I called him back and I told him, I said, look, I just got interrogated by the people at Grandfather Mountain. And I said that they wrote everything down about what I said. And I said, which is fine. I said, like I said, I told them I don't have nothing to hide. I was just up there looking. And I said, hopefully we'll find out something soon about it and all that. I said, and so going from there, the next conversation was about, I'm not sure, Terry Lynn that found the pants.
Terry Lynn's
and
kin.
He was.
Okay, before we get into Terry Lynn finding the pants. This is crazy. Hey, Canadian Cat Lady. Well, didn't. Which, but it seems the pants.
Fucking pants.
What if he was just dropped off somewhere where he didn't? And maybe that woman walking was.
And I think it come back that they were not his pants. So he said that they're keeping tight-lipped about it. And I said, who's keeping tight-lipped? And he said, law enforcement. And
she said they weren't.
I was asking him about Mother's Day, how I thought that Katie was going to react to Mother's Day. And the way he told me was just weird. It gave me an eerie feeling. And I think this is when things started turning for me. And he said, we'll handle that when it gets here. But he said, I think she's doing pretty good.
Okay, wait. Let's go back on this for a second. Let's go back to that sighting. This is what I need to know. Him.
Said, he said, well, we're taking one.
He was?
And he said, well, we're taking one day at a time. And so when Mother's Day did come, I said, I'd like to wish her a happy Mother's Day in the instance. So I said, I know it's not a good time to say that, but she is still a mom. And
see you, Pearl.
He said, well, she's doing good. She said that she's holding her own and she was doing pretty good, And I'm sitting here thinking, if that was my child missing on Mother's Day, I would be bawling my eyes out. I would probably
Exactly.
Maybe
And
she
the
was.
only child she has as well.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't have any other child. So he was the one that made her the mother.
So this is weird. So
you're cutting out again.
Okay.
No, she's not. She's not cutting out. She's not cutting out at all. It was the creator's issue. But Seth makes zero sense to me, says Suze. He gave me worse vibes than Chris did, and I don't care for any of the parents.
Suze.
He stated he did go, and they would not give him any information on the sighting.
Shout out to Suze.
It doesn't sound like they gave this woman any information either. They wanted information from her. They want to know who she was and why she was there and where she had searched, et cetera, et cetera. Weird. Seth said they would not show him the video, says Miss Vu. LE is handling it, and he wasn't allowed to see it, and they shut down cameras.
According to Seth.
It's just odd that she would be interrogated, unless they thought maybe that would bring someone out of the woodwork. I don't know. Who else showed up there that they spoke to?
We have been having issues with our internet. So,
okay, BJ.
I was asking him about, he had called me because I asked him, I said, there's too much to type here. I said, is there a way you could call me or can I call you? Because I said, it's a lot to type. And I said, I'm thinking about going back up to Tennessee. And I said,
listen,
and searching again.
I got emails that this chick legit was on TikTok and did talk to Chris and did search. They did give her spots to search, apparently.
And this has bothered me, and this has bothered me. And I talked to Lolly about this. She was the first person I told about this. And I told him, I said, if we come back up there, I said,
hey, Eddie,
would you be able to tell me where I need to go look?
Hey, April.
And so like I said, we were on the phone and he said, yes. And he said, I'm not supposed to tell anybody this, but I feel like I can trust you with this. And he said, but
I'm not supposed to tell. This is coming from Chris Proudfoot.
I would
guys.
never believe that.
I'm not supposed to tell you this. Do we want to assume this is going to be a big fat lie? Because do you think that Chris Proudfoot is going to trust any outsider?
Nope, and I wouldn't blame him.
And we'll go back and listen to how many people were there after this part.
Ellie.
Listen to this part, guys. Sorry,
Ellie no, you're fine. Ellie, and my heart's like beating out of my chest right now. He said, Ellie has told us that Sebastian is most likely dead and that we need to search northwest of the search. They've already done a 5-mile radius of a search, but they're saying that they need to go another 10 miles out. So we're looking at, wait a minute. So if they already did 5, so there's another 15 out. So anywhere from 15 to a 20-mile radius.
Are you hearing this? He said that law enforcement told him, and this is secondhand info, Law enforcement told him that Sebastian's most likely dead,
Hey, Ryan.
and they should search northwest out of the zone. So do we need to take
Isn't
that
that
like
Clarksville?
opposite? Maybe he's close to home.
Isn't northwest Clarksville? I appreciate that, Suze.
Because he's playing with you. If you want a lie, two are accurate. Okay, so here we go. Let's a couple twos. I don't know. Or
Shut up, Jay.
okay, we're gonna listen to the grandfather.
20 minutes from there. So I get my mom. I said, get up. We're going to Grandfather Mountain today. Katie was crying on the phone with me and Chris on the phone. And she's like, that looks so much like my baby. Please go up there and check. Well, this was the day after. And I said, I will go up there and see what I can find out. And I said, I'm not far from it. I said, if that's what you want me to do. And she was telling me that Sebastian's breastbone sticks out a little bit more because it's growing outwards instead of where it needs to be. So she said you would be able to tell if it was him, which, I mean, he wasn't, the same little boy wasn't there. I mean, they wasn't no way they were going to be there the same day. But we went up there and I took flyers.
I did, Miss W.
We paid $50 to get in for me and my mom. The guy at the ticket stand, he gave us our receipt, and I gave him a flyer, and he said that he would pass it along and see if they could post them at the entrances. So we got up there and we went to where Sebastian, or the little boy, would have been standing. And we got out and I recreated everything where he would have been standing and all that. So we went into the Wilderness Center right there. And I asked the lady there, I said, were you working yet Saturday? And she said, no, why? What is this concern? And I was telling her, I said, I was trying to see if you seen the little boy that was supposed to have been, that looks like Sebastian Rogers, the little boy that was missing. And I showed her a flyer. Well, she gets on the phone and she calls somebody and she said, if you'll wait right here, I've got somebody coming up to talk to you.
Hang on
He
a
comes
second.
in.
Hang on. If you're listening, pay close attention to this next part because it's absolutely crazy what happens to her. Okay.
All right. So this guy comes in and he says, can I help you? And I said, yes. I said, I'm wanting to find out information about, the little boy that was up here on Saturday that everybody is thinking that it's Sebastian Rogers. And I showed him the flyer and he tells me, you can come down to the office and we can talk there. And I said, well, why can't we just talk here? And he said, no, we'd have to go to the office. So I follow him back down and I go into the office. I'm led to a conference room. There is a lady sitting to the left of me. The guy that come up to get me at the main top of the mountain was in front of me, and another guy was to the right of me.
Oh, she almost said officer. She almost said officer. There were officers there. Listen, we're going to play her on normal speed. She almost said officer. So the guy who walked her back, she said there's a lady sitting. Listen.
Left of me, the guy that come up to get me at the main top of the mountain was in front of me, and another guy was to the right of me.
Hear that?
In front of me, and another guy was to the right of me. Mountain was in front of me, and another guy was to the right of me.
Hear that? Another guy. She almost said officer. There were fucking officers at Grandfather Mountain. Why? Did y'all hear that? Woohoo! What the fuck is going on?
So I follow him back down, and I go into the office. I'm led to a conference room. There is a lady sitting to the left of me. The guy that come up to get me at the main top of the mountain was in front of me, and another guy was to the right of me. I had to show my license. I had to give them my phone number. I showed them pictures where I had been up there searching, the whole sheet. And I got interrogated like I had just committed the worst crime that you had ever thought.
she got interrogated like she had just committed the worst crime that you had ever thought. I didn't hear that the first time. What the hell? What does this mean? That they were up there? A possible sighting.
A certain person being up there to look for him. I said, I know that there is, supposedly a sighting up here. We don't know if it was him and all this, but I mean, they questioned me about everything about him, and why I was up there and just everything. And he said, this stuff will be turned over to law enforcement. I said, go ahead, because I have nothing to hide. I didn't do anything. I'm just here as a good Samaritan trying to find this little boy. Finally got out of an interrogation room. And I mean, this lady was writing down everything I said in there. And, like I said, they took copies of my license and stuff like that. I had to give them phone numbers. Anything that they wanted, I gave them. Because like I said, I don't have nothing to hide. And that's exactly what I told them, which really shocked me. But Chris told me the whole time it wasn't him. Katie said yes. And so I come back and I called him back and I told him, I said, look, I just got interrogated by the people at Grandfather Mountain. And I said that they wrote everything down about what I said. And I said, which is fine. I said, like I said, I told them I don't have nothing to hide. I was just up there looking. And I said, hopefully we'll find out something soon about it and all that. I said, and so going from there, the next conversation was about, I'm not sure, Terry Lynn that found the pants.
Okay, that's the end of the Grandfather Mountain part. Good evening, Patrick. They wouldn't. Hold on. Chris Proudfoot is innocent?
I think he sent me one morning.
And he said,
because I was very strict about that. And if he did, it would have to been at his father's house.
And he said, yeah. Hold on.
There's a thing that's saying that he was suing some people. And he said, I have not even said I was suing anybody. And I asked him again, I said about if Sebastian had access to the internet or YouTube or anything like that. And he said he didn't at our house because I was very strict about that. And if he did, it would have been at his father's house.
Bing bong.
And
bing bong. No, she did not say that she has a show. She said, what if I had my own show? Would you come on mine?
And I was like, okay. I said, can we talk about, the day that he went missing? And I said, I had to comment about the spaghetti pancakes because that was just something I was like, oh, that don't even sound appetizing, but I did find out what they were. He told me
we
exactly
know that,
what they
Nora.
were.
Okay. This is not Clue. Someone said it was Clue. Someone in my chat said that was Clue. Oh my God. Nora. Alma. Fuck you, Alma. Remember that? I think you're Miss Nora. I remember you, Miss Nora. Alma, don't ever say I forget people. I love Miss Nora. This does not even remotely sound like Clue.
And so
Hi, Nora.
he said he had a good weekend. Said that they usually do that stuff. They go out and do fun things when, he's not at home or anything like that. And I just...
Thank you, Jane, for your super chat.
I was trying to find this one thing that he sent. He sent me a thing saying that it was about Seth.
Oh, it was about Seth.
That somebody had asked Seth to talk to him and he wouldn't do it. That he told him he would have to pay him, which we've already discussed that. But that was the first thing he sent me one morning. And he said that's all he's about.
We know that's true.
And then he asked me about the deal about the girl that was supposedly with him, which I don't know why he was asking me because I don't know what Seth does.
He was asking her about Michaela?
He was asking me about the girl that Seth took with him to Grandfather Mountain. And I was like, I have no idea. I don't keep up with him. And he said that
he wanted to know if Seth took Michaela to Grandfather Mountain. Did you hear that?
That somebody had asked Seth to talk to him and he wouldn't do it. That he told him he would have to pay him, which we've already discussed that. But that was the first thing he sent me one morning.
Seth, all
and he
about
said
the
that's
money.
all he's about.
So so he sent her a text about Seth wanting to be paid for interviews and said that's all he's about.
And then he asked me about the deal about the girl that was supposedly with him, which I don't know why he was asking me because I don't know what Seth does. He was asking me about the girl that Seth took with him to Grandfather Mountain. And I was like, I have no idea. I don't keep up with him. And he said that he went into talking about the deal about Seth and all that. And like I said, I told him, I said, well, I can't comment on anything that Seth does because I said, I don't know his personal life. I preferably do not care to know about his personal life. I just want his child found. And I asked him about the body that was found in Cumberland River. And he said, when was the body found? And I said, today. And I sent him the clip of it. And he said, if I find out anything, I will let you know. I promise. And
a body found in the Cumberland River? Hold on. Imagine
When was that?
having people that you don't know texting you about bodies being found. Yeah, after she went on Lolly's, I got a hold of Lolly, I think. And I was like, hey, who's that? Will that lady come on my show? So she put me in contact with this Blue Eyes. And Blue Eyes was like, yeah, I'll come on your show. No problem. Well, then something happened. She said somebody got sick or something. And I never heard from her again. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who she is or nothing. We just emailed. I know. I'm sorry.
Isn't that something? That one just floored me when you read that to me. I was like, wait, what?
yeah. And so to me, it's like he's telling me to stay around the house.
Yeah.
He's somewhere around that house.
That's what he's making it out to be. Yes. It always refers back to the house. But I do think after hearing that video.
Yeah, but she just got done saying that LE told him that being inside the 5-mile radius was a waste of time. And now they're like, oh, yeah, it's always around the house. I'm freezing. I don't know why. All of a sudden
he's been taken off somewhere.
I do too.
My arms are cold.
So he sounds to me like he's trying to keep people searching around the house so they don't go too far out, like 15 and a half miles out northwest.
So when I looked at Google Maps, that is most of the places. I mean, I went on Google Maps and Google Earth, and I pinpointed from their house, went so much distance, and there's some churches out that way, but it's mostly wooded area. But there is several bodies upon, water around and stuff like that. But I just really think that if he is in water, these search and dive teams, they need to be looking in the water also out that way. I feel like that's where they're going to find him. And this is when he said, I just wanted to let you know, this was June 6th at 1:28 a.m.
June 6th. So this is a couple weeks ago.
There is no new news or anything yet. Katie received your letter the other day in the mail. Just wanted to let you know that. When it comes to YouTube and interviews, Katie and myself are going to take a break for a while. We both need to step away from the negativity right now and focus on us and Sebastian. We can chat, but just aren't going to do the social media stuff for a while.
So this is probably because Faith was coming, right? June 6th. Yes, she did, Misha. She stated that she called law enforcement.
And then it's been very short, sweet, and just, no news, no problem. Ellie hasn't really told us much. And
But what's nearby, though? I know Twyla said they hit all those ponds, but did they go northwest in the direction of Clarksville?
June the 9th, I texted him and he said they were hanging in one day at a time. Because like I said, usually he'll get up and say no news or something like that. And they just haven't, he's just been quiet. And then I think we all figured out why he's been quiet and not been doing interviews because of his visitation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I asked him, I said, do you know, I had asked him, I said.
Oh, Rhonda, I'm sorry.
About his daughter being there, and he said, my daughter is off limits to everyone. She is fine and having a great time, the time of her life.
Same thing they said about Sebastian that day, huh?
Yeah, so
shut up.
that right there
Lolly.
creeped me out because I'm
Lolly, get your adverbs here. I hope you feel better, Rhonda.
like, okay.
Oh, shut up, old Jay. Quit being
No,
so
I
judgy.
said about his daughter being there, and he said, my daughter is off limits to everyone.
This is Lolly and Blue Eyes.
She is fine and having a great time, the time of her life.
Same thing they said about Sebastian that day, huh?
Yeah, so that right there creeped me out because I'm like, okay. But I don't think anything would be bad. I've not heard from him since. That was the last text message that I got from him, and I have not had any phone calls. But my thing is that now I'm seeing true colors, and especially after hearing the message of the conversation, it has really sit there with Justin going backwards and forth, putting on headphones, holding them tight, putting in different earbuds, and stuff, and just trying to listen to it. And when the lady actually posted, I was like, oh my God, I've got to hear this, And I was sitting there looking at every which way possible with the car lights, with the backlights coming on and stuff like that. And I'm beginning to wonder if it was his truck. And that was his tailgate that we were hearing in that.
Yes, it definitely sounded like a tailgate being shut.
I don't know what they're talking about with the tailgate. Do you guys know what this is about? Thank you, Heidi, for becoming a member. Oh, you're renewed. Thank you for renewing. I wonder if Heidi's still around.
I really feel like Sebastian's not with us no longer.
Yeah.
I'm on camera.
And I think
no, he didn't say that he whipped face with a belt. He did not say that. He said she still gets the hand because she's not old enough for the belt. Thank you. Is what he said. Dopia. I got it, Northern. There is no audio on that video. That's what's weird to me. Why are they still talking like that audio is real? There's no audio. Because that was the beginning of the green team.
About the lady that drove south to Grandfather Mountain. I don't know. I'm just wondering, sometimes if some of these people that's getting in with him is part of their team.
Welcome to Cooterville.
Right.
So
I'm just wondering, why did you get interrogated so bad? Justin went up there, videoed the whole daggum thing, talked to people inside.
I think because it was the next day after.
Yeah, got in his car and left. So yeah, just
good point. Justin went there and drove around, videoed, talked to people, and we didn't hear that he was sat down at a table. Well, Faith wasn't used to him being there when she visited anyway. The last time she was there, he wasn't there, right?
Okayed him being the next day after, I guess, but oh my gosh. Yeah, Kathy, how is it possible that a judge okayed him visitation for the whole summer when they lost a child? Like lost.
Like Nina said, a whole kid, Chris.
And, after speaking to certain people, I really think that if people like us in every state that has been on this case looking at everything that has been said and people that are helping with searches and doing their part by trying to keep his name out there and reporting back if there's any new news or anything. I really think that all of us need to get together and stand up for these children, because these children are getting left out bad. And I don't know what's going on in Tennessee, but all these kids that are missing up there, and then, and all these people, I keep seeing all these people missing. Every day it's somebody else, but they're missing all over the place.
Yeah.
And, it's not just Tennessee, but it's everywhere. And I think that these kids need a voice for them. If it takes, trying to get new laws put in place. Got the Amber Alert started from her yet. She fought hard to get that Amber. Don't just put it out. Like, everybody needs to get together. Went cancer and was here.
Oh wait, what's
was
this?
done. Made it was bad, and CPS reports were made. They were continuous CPS reports made, and nothing was done.
That was another
And
case.
now
I
she's
think.
dead. And we can't bring her back. But if CPS would have done the job and law enforcement would have stood up for them and done what they needed to do, then she would have possibly been here. And I don't think we would have as many kids.
It's just
and I think we
because
need to
those are
go
the
to
ones we
Florida.
hear
I think
about,
Florida
Tomato.
has their,
right?
I think somebody was telling me that they had there that if you hurt a child or
Tennessee
the
now,
SA,
too.
that you got automatic death penalty.
Yeah.
Tennessee
If
now,
that's the way
too.
it should be.
Yes. And
Bring the firing squad back.
I am deleting that video that I put out members only. Ooh, did you hear my maybe
throat?
we can set something up. Oh wait, she was in my chat. That's how it happened. What you? She came in. She scratches people's brains with her voice. She doesn't do good work at all. That is not an example of. Wait, what?
That's why I said it has bothered me, but I feel like a ton of weight has
Show
been taken
chat
off of me
replay.
now.
Let's see.
Well, good. Good. There's just a lot of questions that just hang in the air. And Kathy, like Kathy said, keep up the good work, Blue Eyes Jewel.
I'm gonna try.
You're doing good.
Blue eyes Jewel. Eyes Jewel is what she called her. Blue Eyes Jewel. Thank you, Cookie, for being here. Enjoy your walk. She harasses. Do good work at all. You are.
Oh, that was about Bull Her
She
Buddy.
scratches people's brains with her voice.
Look at
she does.
T. Harrison says Bullherd Betty is not unhinged. She does good work. And when she gets close to the truth, that's when she gets attacked. T. Harrison, a.k.a. Betty.
Doesn't do good work at all. That is not an example of good work. You are surely mistaken, or you're her. One of the two. That's a little scary, to be honest. Let's keep going. See what she says anymore.
She is dedicated to this case. She's not going to stop. Just like not getting it.
Here we go with the
But after
audio.
hearing that audio, you can definitely tell Chris Proudfoot is the one talking.
Oh God.
And
they're
it backwards and forth.
Yeah, can make it sounds like. And
See, this is
But
where these chicks
I heard it.
lost me, man. Where they said that there was audio.
I have not paid attention.
Yeah, tell us about it. Nick Barris said there was no audio. If
we
there's
go.
a separate video with audio, why
There's
wouldn't
Jay
they have the
speaking
video to
truth.
go with it? You're not going to splice the audio and just give the audio to someone. Why wouldn't you just give the whole thing? All right, guys. We kind of went longer than I had planned. But I really find the searching stuff interesting. So I was really happy to share the Texas EquiSearch Midwest search information with you guys. I'm still going through some other videos that I want to share with you, so stay tuned for that. But you guys, if you're not subscribed to J is for Justice, on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be diving into the Trenton Duckett case. So hopefully I will see you then. We are live over there Monday and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today's Saturday. I'll see you definitely tomorrow. Alrighty, guys. If I don't see you later or see you around these streets, I'll definitely see you in the next one. Let me know your comments in the comment section below. Check out Duty Ron for those full interviews. And get flung on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your freaking Saturday. I love you guys. Thank you for the freaking 60 some odd memberships we got in this. Come on, turkeys. Keep it cool. Keep your legs closed. I'll see you in the next one.
I might go forever, go for eons. Front like you don't be on. Pull off in the Tesla, Elon. When I was a kid, I was a phenom. When I was a kid, I was a beast. I pull up, then I be gone. See ya. See ya. See ya. Be gone. See ya. See ya. See ya. Be gone. Thumbing through the blues, no BB King. Back to back shit, so just looking for the ring. I wake up, I brush my teeth. I wake up, I bought 2, 3. I wake up like, ooh, that's me. Brand new car, like, ooh, that's clean. Tracksuit pants, don't wear no jeans. I'm athletic, count up 100 like calisthenics. Talking about the bag, you got bad credit. New MX, we don't use debit. Calling, brand new deals, keep calling. Tell them bring them through, need all them. For a whole kid, still ballin'. I just get up and I zoom. I don't need proof on the proof. I be way up at the moon. I'm looking down on you. Hey nigga, I'm proud of you. Stack money a mile or 2. I might go forever, go for eons. Front like you don't be on. Pull off in the Tesla, Elon. When I was a kid, I was a phenom. When I was a kid, I was a beast. I pull up, then I be gone. See ya. See ya, see ya, be gone. See ya, see ya, see ya, be gone. I'm on a run and you better know. I'm in the know and you better know. I'm here to stay and you better know. I'm at the table, I never fold. I'm at the table, I'm up again. I'm at the table, I'm here to win. Don't cook a record, don't come again. Please, I just need what I need. I collect for my seeds. Would've thought my name tree. I pick up then I leave. In my pocket I be. I don't like to be seen. I just get up and I zoom. I don't need proof on the proof. I be way up at the moon. I'm looking down on you. Hey nigga, I'm proud of you. Stack money a mile or 2. I might go forever, go for eons. Front like you don't be on. Pull off in the Tesla, Elon. When I was a kid, I was a phenom. When I was a kid, I was a beast. I pull up, then I be gone. See ya. See ya. See ya. Be gone. See ya. See ya. See ya. Be gone.
Damn, thank you guys. 80 cooters. Woohoo! Thank you so much.
Jennifer loves horses. Hi, Jennifer.
And that, my friends, is how you know people watch your stream to the end. Thank you so much. You guys are the bomb.com. I love you guys. Fuck yeah. Woo! Woohoo! I might come back tonight just for that shit. How do you ignore that? Ah!
Bye, Jennifer.